Oh, Stevie.
Oh, Corey.
What is going on? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Got a little cold going on, but feeling good besides that.
You got a cold?
Like a little one.
In your hair?
I'm like getting like I'm past the cold.
In your hair?
I'm past the cold. It's still on
Trying
my
to get
voice.
people sick and shit? Look at this guy.
Just
No, I'm kidding.
just trying to keep you sick and down bad.
I'm gonna start being aggressive more, Stevie. We got a beef, remember?
Yeah, maybe I should too.
Yeah.
We'll start off with some crazy hot takes.
And it's a podcast, right? You know, like everybody jokes, but it's like everybody's gotta be like I was even gonna joke like
all right, ready? Valentine's Day.
No.
Okay, go for it.
I was gonna joke before the James Gunn DC slate breakdown. I was gonna be like, all right, so we can't always like agree on everything, Stevie, and we have a big discussion to make on this breakdown, and I really love it. So that means that you gotta hate it.
I hate it.
But we need to start having opposite opinions.
I was gonna bring up
even if it's not real.
The the classic Twitter podcast debate, where they'll be like, "Now, gentlemen, you're on a date with the lady. Who's paying the bill? Retweet if you're splitting it. Like if you're
No, remember when we had J-Hop with that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out J-Hop.
Yeah, I know.
How are you doing, Corey?
I'm good. I'm just tired from work and
middle of winter. I feel it.
Yeah, been working 6 days a week, but oh my god, I got to check this week, and it was just the first start of my overtime.
Bling bling.
And it was just a little bit of overtime too, and I was like, ooh, that made a difference. And then I was like, yeah, I can get used to this. I'm like, they're only gonna get better from here on out too, for like a minute. So
yeah. Did you have a good Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I didn't really do much Valentine's Day. I think I played Multiverses.
It's lit.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I made brownies for myself, and I watched La La Land and Call Me by Your Name.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Oh man, what a night!
Yeah, two very optimistic love stories.
Yeah, look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us. I'm playing Multiverses. I didn't even have the cool Valentine skin yet, but I got it now. I got the
I saw that. The Martin one.
Galactic Romance Marvin.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out Marvin.
It's always fun to pop in and watch you play.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been having the homie Andrew coming through, and he always jams.
Yeah.
But you're going to be on Multiverses soon?
I will be.
Fuck yeah.
Game Club, baby.
Fuck yeah.
Game
Club coming soon. Let's go.
Soon. Look at us.
Let's go.
That keeps reminding me of the Paul Rudd meme.
Paul Rudd meme. What meme?
You know, the hot ones where they're like, look at us here.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Let's just get into it.
Yeah, you said it. You said it.
What did you think about Quantumania?
Quantumania.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania.
It's interesting. Okay, so yeah, I brought the girl, me and you and this little girl that I've been seeing lately went and saw it, and I knew that she wasn't. I knew that I was watching it the whole time, being like, "Fuck, this is a bad Marvel movie to try to get a girl into," and then I was worried about that. Not worried, but I was just like, "Damn," you know what I mean? I was just thinking about all the things of how I don't know how it's just
how does she know why people think that Ant-Man saved the world?
Yeah, but it also made me see Marvel differently. You know how a Guardians movie is oh, you're oh, I know anybody could watch this and they're gonna fucking love this because this is great. This is just this. It doesn't matter how much you hate comic books or superhero movies. If you saw Guardians 1, you'll like it.
Yeah.
That feels like that, and not everyone's gonna like it, not everyone does.
Yeah, and Marvel definitely has a few, they're the best of their movies. You could just pop in, you don't
exactly.
Have to know it.
And there's always those ones that's oh, I know this person would like Black Widow because Florence Pugh, or you know what I mean, and it's funny and whatever, I know this person would like Thor because it's this,
It's definitely just felt like the movie version of seeing watching a TV show. You know what I mean? Just another episode of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
In some ways.
I've never had like, even after Thor, I mean, I was upset, like I didn't love that movie, you know what I mean? But I wasn't like this critical of Marvel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I backed up Marvels for
Yeah, I was the one that was hating.
yeah, I've been backing up Marvel, all forever,
Yeah.
but James Gunn really stirred up the movie world, I think. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And Marvel has just had this spell of like pissing off the audience kind of somehow.
Well, it was kind of crazy. You're like watching the Guardians trailer before it, and the Guardians trailer was just so much better looking and feeling than any of Ant-Man's even
Yeah.
highest moments.
Yeah, the Guardians trailer had more feeling than this movie. But this movie is also not
Honestly,
not
for
bad.
me, no, the movie isn't bad. It's just bland
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. Like it doesn't reach crazy heights.
Wait.
It doesn't have. It's not
So
as.
you're saying it's bland, then never mind, I gotta fight against that. It was actually pretty fucking cool.
But I mean, like it was bland good. You could be
Yeah.
on the bad side.
But the Jelly Guy, right? So the Jelly Guy was amazing, and the Jelly Guy was like a great character that will be underlooked.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But he was also
The Quantumanium, like people, it was like so. And I guess that was the point. It just didn't feel like solidified in what they were going for.
Yeah.
They were like all over the place, and that was fine. It definitely made me appreciate. I was like, at least it wasn't as like the offensively bad moments of Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Like I was like, all right, this is a step up. But then there was some things about Love and Thunder that I appreciated more, like the villain. Like
Yeah.
it was a little bit more unique, and Kang was cool, but like this felt more like a Kang movie than like an Ant-Man movie. No,
Yeah,
I mean maybe
this
a Wasp. Wasp like it was like more like Ant-Man and Kang.
This did more for Kang than anything. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? This was Kang's not origin, but this is Kang's like true like introduction to the MCU.
And it was cool.
And Ant-Man really was like a side character. Like they fucked up like really the movie ended at such a point, and I guess we got to spoil it, right? Like we can spoil it.
Spoilers from here on out, we'll say.
Yeah. So if you want to skip, at least 5 minutes or so. But the whole ending, where it ended up with like them, like him and Wasp being like stuck in the the quantum realm, like that, like the way they were like it was all about like their love and stuff, that just did not hit at all. You know what I mean? Like they had no setup like to like how much they like really like love each other. You know what I mean? Like
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's no real
It feels like they stripped out a lot of her lines.
yeah, there's no real
Also, someone definitely pointed out that at one point, she has that brown haircut. At some point, it just switches to light brown, like with streaks in it, and they forgot to change it.
what the hell?
I feel like they need to start thinking more practically with how they shoot sets because they're relying too much on animation sometimes,
Yeah.
and like the CGI-ness. But there was
I wasn't that upset about it. This one was tough because it was mainly CGI. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just the idea of it.
I
but
think they could have made a few more practical sets.
yeah,
to
I
work
would
on,
no,
but
I would have enjoyed that. And,
there was some great highlights of the movie too, though.
and
Like,
I would have enjoyed a little bit more like before and after the quantum realm, maybe. You know, I don't know.
And the best parts to me were the beginning and the outro. Like the Paul Rudd walking down the street being like, my life is weird.
Yeah.
And there is something cool about the fact that like he saved the day in Endgame and like he kind of sparked the Kang Dynasty.
yeah.
Like that's interesting to me in like his story. But it didn't feel like, I don't know, he was like mad at his daughter for using the suit and then he was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that didn't really like.
He knew she had a suit too. He's like, you got a suit in the car in the real world, and then when she popped it out in the quantum realm, he's like, wait, you got a suit?
Yeah,
And it's like you already knew that. Like,
it didn't feel like they patched up any emotional stuff
yeah,
other than saying like, damn, we just beat that boss. Like we're all good now, right?
yeah, and her just being into it, doesn't. I mean, kind of, I guess, makes sense because of like the grandpa, just and like just. I don't know, because he was, he also was like the badass at the end of the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was my favorite character.
Saved the day and showed that he's like the, if this is an Ant-Man movie, he's the first Ant-Man.
Yeah. And it really, I mentioned it in the movie theater, but it really just drove me crazy that the mom just kept being like, I'll tell you guys later. I'll tell you guys later. It's like, no one's shooting at you. You're like Not in
Yeah.
immediate danger. Just be like, there's this dude, he's really bad, and he's trying to get us.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know it's for the story plotline, but I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they could have, the opening scene with her and Kang, was just like very short and weird.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like they took so long to introduce Kang. Elton, you have not showed up for any podcast ever.
Friend of the pod, Elton. Hello. Meow.
I wonder if he ended up in the video. I hope so.
I hope so too. There were some really great moments though too. Like the building holding on to the other building that's like
The buildings are like, yeah, truly like, because
they're like your buildings aren't alive.
you were saying the jelly wasn't that, memorable, but the buildings to me were so cool. You know what I mean? But also it feels like, even though I love them both, like it feels like it is going to be less memorable. You know what I mean? Than like Korg. You know what I mean? Even though Thor,
It felt
Love
like
and
that's what they
Thunder-
were trying to go for there.
Yeah,
But it was nice when he was like, "I have holes now," and he like went crazy.
Yeah.
It just felt like there was a lot going on. It was like a really complex, like a lot of characters. I was kind of sad that this is what they use MODOK for. I hope that another version of MODOK comes through.
Really?
Yeah, I like the MODOK. He's kind of a weird character.
I thought MODOK was cool in this movie.
I didn't hate it. Have you seen the Spy Kids comparisons?
No, but yeah, I mean I feel like people have been talking about that for a while, like even before the movie came out.
It like is even funnier with now that you have seen MODOK. Look at this.
Oh wow.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny. That's great.
But I liked it. I mean, like it was a good fun time. I think if I had any biggest complaint, it was that it just seemed too dark at times. Like I wish it was brighter. Like the movie,
Yeah.
not themes, like literally the screen,
Yeah, literally the color.
the color of it was brighter because sometimes it would just be too dark. But biggest highlight was definitely Jonathan Majors. He's gonna be crazy as Kang, like just absolutely perfect.
Yeah, Kang seems like, well, I mean, and that's other people's complaints too. Is like, honestly, the scene when Kang's like, when he walks out and he's pissed and he's just like, yeah, he's just like that felt brutal. It was like not too brutal because it's still Disney and Marvel, but that felt brutal to me. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, of like, holy shit, this dude is just like murdering people real quick and he's pissed. But then he kind of like just got his ass whooped by Ant-Man for the most part. You know what I mean? He definitely whooped his ass for a bit, but
Yeah.
like, people were saying, it seemed like he got beat too quick by Ant-Man.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, he also I don't think underestimated Ant-Man's getting big thing because the
Yeah.
first time when they were like in an encounter, they're in like a tight space, so he can't do that get big move.
Yeah.
Also, he probably hasn't had to have a real fight in a long time. Like that dude's just been chilling
Yeah.
because the Quantumverse is even longer
Yeah.
than the regular time, right?
Yeah, and he
But-
did fuck up, yeah, just being big, he could fuck up the town.
Dude,
his dynasty.
When he was like, I think I've killed you before. He's like, what's the one with the hammer?
yeah. Dude, that whole thing, that was mean.
Yeah.
That whole, when he walks up to him in jail, and then he's just basically like, yeah, I'll kill your daughter, like, or you can go get this shit for me,
Yep. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's kind of wild. I also love that. Man, there's that like specific type of Marvel comic book hater that was like when we saw Kang in Loki, that was like Kang's supposed to be blue, he's blue. That I thought that like they nailed it in this movie.
Yeah, I like
It was
the
like
little,
the helmet is what
Yeah.
makes him. I was like, this looks perfect.
and his chair thing, and the fact that I think he was trying to, he had that rigged up to power, like, the whole dynasty he
Yeah.
had, where he's like, I'm taking everybody. So that's also, like, to me, that is kind of the coolest part now, and to me, like, it's almost, like, hard to predict it beforehand, but once it always happens, you're like, oh, I should have known it was going to end here. You know what I mean? Like, even with Spider-Man, maybe, per se, like, there's a lot of things where you're like, what the fuck's going to happen? But But it's like, oh, I should have known it was gonna end here. I should have known they tricked us and made us think, you know what I mean, one thing in the trailer.
Yeah.
But I should have known it was gonna end here. And you know, it was easy to think that like Ant-Man was gonna lose. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And part of me really wishes that would have happened. You know what I mean? And Kang would have just won, and it's just dangerous now.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The interesting thing is, like, even though he did win, he kind of
yeah,
lost.
he did kind of lose. Yeah,
But not to his fault. He just doesn't
but they
understand.
both lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the one thing too, is that like I wish it was like I wish he would have got away, but Kang or I don't know, he would have just got sent back, like maybe like survived, but like Kang won.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
crazy. It's like you either let this wild, powerful Kang go,
Yeah.
or you face all of the rest of them. What do you
I
pick?
It would have been crazy though if they just did a better movie and Ant-Man does just die. You know what I mean? Like this is just his end and Cassie's left. Like
I
you
thought
know?
maybe the mom was gonna die,
yeah,
but then that'd be 2 Marvel movies in a row where the mom dies, or Hank. Just something.
It would have been crazy if they set it up for Ant-Man to die.
Yeah, I do love at the end. She was like, "It's not my birthday," and he's like, "I know, but we're gonna throw it for you anyways."
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wish they would have fleshed out the emotional, because like
Exactly.
that was the highlight of it. The fact that it felt more contained than any of the Marvel movies of recent. Like there was no new characters introduced besides Kang.
Yeah.
That's common. A villain being introduced is a normal thing.
But they did nothing for character development outside of Cassie
Yeah.
and Kang. And Cassie is just like, yeah, it just seemed weird that she was just so
The
very
mom a little bit
quickly in
too.
it. Yeah, the mom too.
But it was mostly just being like, here's more backstory.
Yeah.
Bill Murray was a nice little highlight. He was kind of funny and weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting, his character. Like, where he was supposed to be, like, the friend to help him, and then it, like, just very quickly turns, and he was just, like, an asshole to Michael Keaton, low-key, but then, like, yeah, Michael Keaton didn't really care, because he slept with, one girl a couple times, he said.
Oh, you mean, what's that guy's name? Not Michael Keaton.
Yeah, not Michael Keaton. We
Freeman?
couldn't think of his name.
No, Michael Gordon?
Michael Douglas.
Douglas. There you go.
Michael Douglas.
There you go.
Still a Michael.
Yeah, it was nice. You know, he's a supportive husband.
Yeah.
He's a supportive husband.
Yeah, but that was still crazy what Bill Murray did.
True. Bro, I can't believe that they made his ship look so much like the Ten Rings and then had no actual connection to the Ten Rings. So it makes me wonder if the Ten Rings are going to be like a multi-verse travel device.
I mean, I don't know, but maybe it's just a future signal. You know what I mean?
It could be.
Like,
Or it could be Kang.
yeah,
Kang made those.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, there's a lot of Kangs.
It was definitely one of the better mid-credit scenes.
I
don't think so?
disagree. I do disagree.
I mean, ending credit.
not even just like fakely for the pod, but like
You didn't like that? You didn't like the
no,
Kangs?
I didn't. I mean, I liked it, but it was like, I just know that's like, I don't know. I already knew that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it gave me no new information, if you ask me.
What
It
about
was
the
cool
Loki
to see
trailer?
it.
The Loki moment.
The Loki moment was cool.
Owen Wilson on the big screen in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, because I guess that's interesting. Like, I kind of like, I don't know why, and maybe I don't want this, but I guess I was just maybe kind of thinking maybe like Loki has nothing to do with Kang anymore. You know what I mean? But I guess he's searching for Kang, like.
Yeah, I mean, they're still working on the timeline.
But how is he with, still know, like, how does Owen Wilson still know him? How did he find Mobius?
That's the beauty of the credits. The credit.
Now that I'm
clip off.
thinking about it, yeah, how the fuck did he find Mobius?
You know what I'm saying?
Because that
Leaves
was
you on
the
a
saddest
cliffhanger.
part, thinking, like, where's Mobius? He's just gone. Like, does he even remember who Loki is?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Like, no, Sylvie.
No Sylvie. But she might be sitting in that place, being the one who remains. Who knows?
She who remains.
She who remains. It is kind of. This definitely felt like. I think Marvel was prepared for this movie not to do too great. Because the week before this, they've been announcing all these kind of like TV
Dude,
show cutbacks.
No. The announcement started after the DC slate,
That's true too.
and they were happening that day too.
Yeah. This one just felt like. I don't know. It was just a pretty average. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. If that makes sense.
No, let's keep dwelling on the fact that Marvel has dropped a slew of information in the past 3 weeks.
It's
You know what
true.
I mean? Like, they don't do that.
No. I
They're
mean, they've been
putting it
cutting.
out there
They've been
now.
cutting it back, especially the TV shows.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I'm okay with that. I would rather there be like 2 amazing TV shows a year versus like 4 mediocre.
Yeah, but I just don't. I also don't want the same shit to happen where it's like, all right, like you got, there's supposed to, there could be season twos of shit that is just never, or like we gotta wait like 3 years for season twos. You know what I mean? And like,
That just happens so with TV sometimes.
I know, but I would rather, but some TV is good every year. You know
I
what
almost wish that they wouldn't have been like, let's set up a TV and movie universe that collide. Like, it would have been cool if they were doing what they're doing with Kang, but a TV version with somebody else. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be great if they did different universes that end up like before the multiverse would be the best time to just do some weird shit where it's like, because they could even just do some side shit where it's like, they do like a Miss Marvel show, but like, the Iron Man she knows is Tom Cruise. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. Like it's just a photo of Tom Cruise. You know what I mean? And maybe he died already too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To Thanos, like.
Because
I
like
don't know,
what
like-
worked with like Peacemaker was that it like took a small character and then like made a big little story in there, without it being like this thing that affects the whole universe, but
Yeah.
really affects the character.
Yeah. And Marvel, Marvel's done that with Moon Knight.
True.
You know what I mean? And like
Loki was
their
great
shows
too.
have been the same. Yeah, their shows have been that. They've a lot of their shit has been its own stories and its own things. That,
Yeah, but I mean like. If you look at like WandaVision leads right into Doctor Strange, like that's
Yeah.
like pinnacle. Like you
Well,
have
some
to
of
see
them-
that.
Some of them do, yeah, and they kind of mention that when they announce the shows too. They'll say like, because right now it's like, oh, like, what Secret Invasion is gonna lead into Captain America or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
New World Order. You know what I mean?
Something
and
like that.
and yeah, Miss Marvel like kind of leads into the the Marvels.
The Marvels.
I don't know, like
Guardian special. It leads into Guardians 3. Let's
yeah,
go.
Yeah, yeah, I can't wait. Guardians is May 5th, dude. We are getting so much good content this year.
Movies. you
Just
mean?
everything,
Yeah.
games, like movies,
TV.
TV. Yeah, like there is so much like good stuff coming. Ted Lasso is next month.
Yeah, you see that I sent you the preview.
You
right?
sent me that, and oh my god! Like I think I shed a few tears.
Yeah,
like,
I did.
I was so like,
Believe.
that's the perfect little thing
Yeah.
too to come out with. Like they just filmed that for fun. You know what I mean? That was just a little idea they had. That's not for the show. Like.
Yeah, but it captures like
Yeah, but it captures everything so well, and it got me so pumped for this show. And then they just dropped a date, which is like,
really soon.
yeah, it's like 3 weeks.
Yeah, Yellow Jackets. We're gonna have Yellow Jackets, Ted Lasso, and Succession all
I'm
coming out
not
at once.
that hyped for Yellow Jackets.
Well,
I've never
I
even
am.
seen Succession.
I am. I'm hyped for both.
But maybe I'll watch Yellow Jackets.
I started watching a new TV show on Apple TV, Shrinking.
Shrinking?
It's pretty good.
You
It's
like
pretty
it?
Good. Good cast. It has the mean doctor from Scrubs' wife. What's the one that's like kind of
Krista Miller.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's cuz I think the runner of that show is Bill
It's he's
Bill
done Ted
Lawrence.
Lasso and he's done
yeah,
Scrubs.
yeah.
That makes
That's
sense.
his wife.
Oh, okay.
Bill Lawrence dates, and Dr. Kelso, or not Dr. Kelso, but Dr. Cox dates
Her.
Krista,
Yeah.
in Scrubs.
And then it has the teacher from. Oh man, what's that movie with the 2 girls and they're in high school but they're Booksmart?
Booksmart, what's the teacher?
I don't know. Remember she hooks up with the student at the end of it.
I don't remember.
But
We watched
Jason Segel and Harrison Ford are the other 2 big ones.
Yeah, I know Jason Segel, and
But it's pretty good. I think it's
Yeah.
like a funny look at like
I think Zach Braff
Therapy.
directed the episode of it.
that's cool. I could see that. I was like mad that I started it because now it's like week to week now. I should have waited, but I didn't.
I like week to week, but I guess on certain shows I like it on like A Last of Us or like
Yeah.
Euphoria. You know what I mean? Where it's like big
You're still
events.
2 weeks behind on.
I'm 2 weeks behind on Last of Us. We can't even talk about Last of Us
You're
yet.
gonna be the last of us to finish it.
Dude, I am like, all right, so, and maybe this is, maybe I'll learn whenever I like fully finish the second one, but like these copyright things are like hitting me like, I have the video and now I'm just trying to like, I've learned that like it'll tell me like, oh, this 30 seconds is copyrighted. And they'll be like, you can trim out this 30 seconds if you want, and then you do it and it makes you choose the time. So I've been like trimming out like 8 seconds, and then it goes away. But then it keeps giving me the new ones. You know what I mean? It just before it got me down to like 16 minutes, and I'm like, all right, I can't, because I was cutting out all of it. So now I'm just cutting out little bits, and I'm like, you know what I mean? And it's working, but I can't get to an end.
Yeah. I wonder how Internet Mom does it.
I don't know. I think she's just really good about like just not really showing much of the show. You know what I mean? Or just doing 3 to 7 second clips and then talking about it and then going to a new,
Yeah.
and
I wonder if like you'd have better luck just doing like screen, like talking about a screen. You know what I'm saying? Like putting like a still over like moments that like start to get copyrighted.
yeah.
But that sucks.
Yeah, I just do have fun doing the reaction shit, and I think, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I wish there was like a place that you could just post all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That wasn't so. And I get why YouTube has to be like that, but it's really annoying.
Yeah, I'll figure it out, cause however she does it, I'll figure it out.
It's crazy because like I'll sometimes pull up like some smooth jazz to put in my music streams, and like I notice now that like they pinpoint each song.
Really?
Like they pick them all up. Even though I'm only playing it like loud enough to go off my computer speakers into my mic, like it's not even like the best fidelity.
Damn.
They're just like really good algorithm on it.
Yeah, I haven't tried anything during a stream like
Yeah.
that. Luckily.
I was like, damn, they're on us.
Damn. But yeah, I'm super behind in Last of Us.
It's been
So
great.
TV Club is trash this week. Besides,
I'm trying to think what was. Oh, last week was the freaking Super Bowl episode. Where It happened on. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
And I think my only comment will be that The Last of Us knows how to film at night. They're doing a great job at that.
Yeah.
Good night shots.
Yeah.
Good characters.
You watch Abbott?
Of course, I watched Abbott. I don't know if my comment on your live stream made sense, but I was like a little not disappointed that I read the description before starting the episode, but I was like, damn, I already know who started the fire. If that makes sense going into it.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
It doesn't ruin it.
Yeah.
It doesn't ruin it.
It doesn't change much.
I thought it was a great episode. It was one of the more emotional episodes. It definitely is setting up what I think is going to be season 3, and we've mentioned it before, where like Gregory will be the principal, and like Ava maybe will be like a teacher, or like Ava will have her like come back as a teacher type thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was hilarious. Ava was just like, "Nah, I'm out. It's
Yeah.
a real fire. I'm out of here."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and then she was just gone like the whole episode, damn near. I mean, she had a little. So she came back, but I'm
yeah.
like, it makes you wonder, like she wasn't able to film that week. You know what I mean? Much or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I wonder if people do that for certain episodes where it's like, if they're filming all the episode in a week. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? If someone has to be gone for 3 days, you know what I mean? Like Janine when she's sick. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's just do these couple scenes. There's one scene of eating the tuna sandwich and then FaceTime scene.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And then she goes does press that week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They definitely like focus on certain characters some week more than others.
Yeah.
They haven't had a lot of janitor recently.
Yeah. Just like like old shows that used to do like 20 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And
Because they brought in some special guests this week.
yeah.
And that was cool. The fire people.
Yeah.
Jacob's cookies were cracking me up.
Yeah.
This is a 75-step recipe. And then she liked him at the end.
Yeah.
They're using them to like knock the freaking frisbee off.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a funny ass episode.
I love how like pumped up she was about fire trucks.
Yeah, she was going crazy.
What she said, "Oh, that's the best thing about fire trucks. You get older and they stay the same," which is like what Matthew McConaughey says in Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. God, that line is crazy. Dazed and Confused.
It's so. That's what I love about high school girls.
Wow.
That is not what I personally love about high school girls.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean by that, Stevie?
Just
What,
making.
what do you mean by that?
Just quoting a movie. Just quoting a movie. Got to clarify on that. Trying to think what
Yeah.
else was out on TV Club. Oh, did you start you?
I've started it, and then I started a little bit more last night, but then I switched to Punch Drunk Love. Because I realized You is like a show that I like. I don't know. Sometimes I don't like. Sometimes I just listen to it, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. You know, this season it starts off weird. You know what I mean? It's just kind of
It's
funny.
different.
Like he just drops off the baby. He's like, and then he was like, he does like this weird little like huff away, like as he watches like the person pick up his baby from the porch.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, that is a crazy scene right there. And he's like, it's the hardest thing I ever had to do. It's like, bro, you have like murdered a lot of people and like hid their bodies and like lied to police and like done all this shit. And then you got like, you burnt your wife and like took the baby. Like,
And made it seem like she killed you.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, all while like on a drug that she gave you. You know what I mean? Like, and somehow. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just goes to show how crazy this dude is.
It just starts.
And it's like an important reminder for this season, I think, especially because like he's not.
No, but they don't frame it like that. They frame it like, oh, he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, I guess
You
they
know
do
what I
try to make
mean?
it
Like-
emotionally connected with him.
Yeah, you know.
But that's like the best part about the show.
And he
is,
probably
like,
is doing
the
the right
show
thing.
like makes it seem that he's not crazy, but like you have to snap yourself back in and be like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, this dude is wild."
So I started the first episode right, and I fell asleep at some
Okay,
point. And I
that's
thought that maybe I'd finished it right. So whenever I turned it on last night, I started the second episode, and I'm pretty sure it was like he was like pissed, and he was like cleaning up, or like I don't know, might have been like he was talking about how he had to clean up a body for someone, and I don't know, and I was like, somebody died already, and I was like, he's like, but it wasn't him, and I was like, wait, and then you were talking about how it's like some detective show, and I was like, wait, something is going on here.
Yeah, you should definitely watch it. It's a great flip on. Honestly, I was like, this show is interesting because each season I'm like, how are they gonna keep doing this? And each season they find a new way to make the formula interesting, and I think this has been one of the more interesting ways to use the formula.
Yeah.
You want me to just tell you how the first episode ends?
Sure. Because I kind of get the idea of like there's that girl he was kind of stalking a little bit, like the new girl. And
He just like he blacks out and he wakes up, goes to a party with this guy, blacks out, wakes up, and the dude is dead on his kitchen table with a knife through his chest.
I did see that actually.
And so like because he blacks out, he's like, oh my god, did I do this?
yeah.
But like he mostly becomes to realize that he didn't do it, and then he's like, all right, so out of this group of people, someone had to do it. Like, who is it? It's like he has to keep hanging out with the people to try to figure out who it is.
That's what I started seeing is like him like thinking about the group too.
Yeah,
And,
because he
and
doesn't.
I'm like, that is an interesting concept of like, oh, like him trying to decipher between a group of people of who killed. He might be the best person to fucking solve some murders
well, and like
too.
it's interesting too because he doesn't want to be the guy who showed up. The one night he shows up is the night that the one dude dies. And, like, that makes him look guilty as fuck right away. It's like he has to keep showing up to make himself not seem so guilty.
Yeah.
And he needs to exonerate himself so that he can draw attention off of himself.
Interesting. Have you seen the whole season?
Only the first half is out. So I've only seen the first half.
Really?
Yeah, they're doing 2 halves.
So is this a final?
I don't know. Probably. But maybe not. The one thing that's been interesting, and this is like a non-spoiler thing for the most part, is that the internet did that thing that they've do a lot right now, where like he in an interview talked about how he didn't want to do sex scenes, or at least I guess they called them intimate scenes. And the internet like blew up, and they're like talking about. Do you know what Hays Code is?
No.
Back in the day, there used to be this thing called Hays Code, where like you weren't allowed to like have certain amounts of like graphic violence or sex in the movies. And so like in like film noir movies, you'll have these moments where it's like a lot of implied sexual tension because they couldn't talk about it. But now people have been saying like like the 90s, 2000s, there's a lot of sex scenes.
Yeah.
And they've said like since like that peak, they've been like cutting down and down, and like people are saying like Hollywood has become like sexless, and people kind of criticized him for that thing, but it was really weird because like people were criticizing him for like creating his own boundaries for his own personal reasons.
Yeah.
I always think that's weird when the internet does that, where they're like, on one hand, they're like, create your own boundaries, like be safe, like be yourself. But then it's like, oh, but not that boundary.
Yeah.
Like that's. But then the other thing that's confusing in the show, like, he doesn't have like sex scenes, but like he's making out with people.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't know why Twitter was just overreacting to him saying that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, dude has like every right to say that like he doesn't want to do that. Like he doesn't have to do this acting at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, any, yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to have to like say it, but it's like if any woman actor came out and was like, "Yo, I don't want to, I want to do less sex scenes," it wouldn't be a fucking problem at all, or it shouldn't,
Yeah.
I'm sure Twitter wouldn't do that,
No.
but maybe they would, you never fucking know. Like,
Honestly, Twitter probably would. It would just be a different section of Twitter.
if Olivia Wilde did it right now, they would. They would. They'd be like, "What the fuck?"
But I thought it was pretty good, and I was like, "Go Netflix! Like this is one of your good shows."
Yeah. Yeah, You is a weirdly good show.
Yeah, it's like feels like one of the better Netflix shows.
Yeah.
I got mad at Netflix again this week
Why?
because they're taking down Arrested Development,
Yeah.
even though
They bought it.
it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like you've already have content that you made. Like why are you taking it?
Yeah, like
Wasn't
is
the
someone gonna
point to
buy like the Fox and the Netflix shit? And
I don't know. It's like wasn't the whole point to build up a library of your own content? So like you didn't have to spend more money making
yeah,
as much new content. I don't know.
I mean maybe they have to be maybe talking about selling it.
Yeah.
Where is Fox landed in streaming?
I don't know. I'm sure they're split up between things.
That's what I'm saying. Fox has to
'Cause-
be either on something or like has their own that we just don't even know about.
It might be with Netflix because Zoe or like the New Girl's on Netflix.
Okay,
That's what I can think of. But I don't
so
know.
Netflix had a good relationship with Fox.
I think so. It's also confusing because I feel like I wish somebody who had more free time and technical ability could do this for me, but I would love for somebody to have tracked how many movies are available on Netflix and other streaming services because it feels like it's less and less. Like I feel like now I'll like go to like look up a movie and it'll be like, $3 to $6 to rent it. Where like it used to feel like it was on at least one of the things.
Yeah,
Now it feels like there's more movies that aren't just on nothing.
yeah.
And they're more or less they're like some of the best movies.
Well, I think all streaming services aren't making money. They're not really like
Yeah, that's true.
they're only doing certain deals. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
So
It just makes me mad because like I feel like Netflix is becoming more detrimental to like movies and cinema, not in the sense of like streaming, but like the quality they're pushing. Because like I had 3 people recommend that aren't that into movies recommend me the movie You People, and I'm like, man, this is the movie that Netflix is pushing out. Like people are taking their time and like watching this over like genuinely great movies.
yeah,
Have you seen You People?
no.
My biggest gripe with it is how they treat podcasters in it.
I mean, every movie treats
Sometimes they do it right. Like Abbott treated podcasters right.
Abbott did it right.
And like what's it called? Did it right?
Bros,
Vengeance.
Bros
Did it right too.
did it
But
right.
and You People, he's like, yeah. Jonah Hill gets clowned for quitting his job to be a full-time podcaster. Even though in the start of the movie they like show their like live numbers and they have like 4,000 people watching them live. And I'm like, there's no way that isn't like monetizable. Like that's
Yeah.
an insane amount of audience.
Yeah, a live stream,
Having
4,000
4,000.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure like if like I don't know.
That's
maybe-
like you've made it on Twitch.
yeah.
Like the most popular on Twitch might have 30,000, 30
That's
to
what I'm
50,000.
saying. I literally think like Pink Panthers, if she went live right now, she might get like, you know what I mean, 5,000. Like, you know what I mean. After like, she might have like a wave of like 20 at some point. I don't know. I'm not gonna diss on her, but I'm just saying like I think like, I think some bigger artists than you think have like 2,000 and 4,000 people in their lives. You
And
know
like
what
that's
I mean?
and it's like
And
not a
that's
bad
great.
number. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a great.
that's great.
And I was just like, this
That's
movie,
people that are willing to just hop on the phone instantly to like watch your shit. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
I was like, this movie's more making fun of people for podcasting than I don't know. It felt really, really weird. The whole movie felt really weird.
Who was the podcaster in it?
Jonah Hill,
Really?
him and his
So
best friend.
he was like cringy in it.
Honestly, he wasn't that cringy. The cringiest part was the chemistry between Jonah Hill and the other romantic lead.
Yeah.
Because like the movie is like he's Jewish, she's black.
Lauren Hill, or not Lauren Hill, Lauren London.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Apparently they CGI'd the kiss at the end.
Yeah, I heard that.
And it's pretty obvious. It's pretty
Yeah.
obvious. But you know, I thought Julia Dreyfus was funny.
She was
and
in it.
She's his mom, yeah. And David Duchovny is his dad.
Really?
And
Jesus
Eddie Murphy.
Christ. Yeah, I know Eddie Murphy
yeah.
was in it, but I didn't know those. They've only said Eddie Murphy, Jonah Hill, and Lauren London, but I never heard about David Duchovny
Yeah.
and fucking Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Like,
There's a moment where like he's introducing her to his parents, and like he has to take the mom to the side because she's kind of being a little bit racist. And he like comes back in, and David Duchovny's on the piano, like singing a hip hop song to her. The movie's like very cringy in that way, but
yeah.
I was just like, I couldn't believe how mean they were about podcasting, especially to
Yeah.
someone who had a great podcast.
It's funny. I've heard about that movie on 2 different podcasts. I've heard 2 different podcasts break down that movie, like, in depth of, like, how bad it was, too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, or, like, try to say, like, all right, well, like, at least they, like, you know, they did the typical plot of, like, you know, interracial relationship. He's like, but they didn't do, like, he's like, they kind of, like, at least pushed the boundaries a little bit on, like, the jokes of it, you know, and made it, like, you know, maybe a little bit, like, I don't know, like, not typical cheesy, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, there was definitely some highlights in it, but it definitely felt like I was just mostly like, man, I can't believe I got recommended this movie so many times by people. I was like, there's so many great movies.
Yeah, that
out
is
right
an
now.
interesting point, though, too. Just noticing like what people recommend. You
Well,
know what I mean?
part
Like,
of it is because like when you opened up Netflix that week,
yeah.
that's the movie that's
And
sitting
Jonah
there.
Hill's very, you know, he's popular. You
Eddie
know what I
Murphy's
mean? Yeah,
hilarious.
Eddie Murphy, yeah. Lauren London, like
Tacos in it,
Taco.
which I was like, nice. That was like Odd Futures come up, baby.
Yeah, you see the thing come out recently. It says SZA. SZA was trying to be an Odd Future originally.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, imagine that multiverse.
That'd be crazy. It would just be like funny to see SZA interacting with them.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're so wild.
yeah.
But dang. I'm trying to think if there's any other big TV club this week.
No, I haven't been watching no TV personally.
I've been hit and missing on TV.
You know what I have been watching though,
What?
since we're on it? I fell in love with Amelia.
Oh,
Chicken shop
dude.
date.
Dude, once you start, she's so good.
Yeah.
She's so good.
You know what got me into it though?
Which one?
Was not even the chicken shop date.
Was it the red hot carpet?
No. It wasn't her at all.
What was it?
It was Caleb Presley. Have you been seeing his videos?
Dude, yes. You used to watch him with Drake?
Yeah, that video.
Drake's son?
I saw a Drake interview and I was like, who the fuck is this dude? I was like, what is this weird? I'm like, and I don't even like if I see a Drake interview, it's not like I'm just going to click on it, but it was like,
Dude, there's a part in that interview where he's like, and what's your favorite thing to bet on? And Drake's like,
being a
fatherhood.
Yeah, being a fatherhood.
The dude's like, what are you talking?
Yeah.
He's like, you could have said yourself. And he's like, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah.
I like how it was, yeah, like he interviews Adonis for like 3 minutes. And then
Well-
the first question is, so do you ever feel like Adonis is cock blocking you so he can get the full inheritance? And he was like, no. He's like, you're thinking about it, aren't you?
I like
He's like, well, yeah, kinda.
he started, we're with Drizzy Drake's son. And Adonis like, what do you mean by that? What does that mean?
Yeah, he was like something about like, you know, he called somebody a nerd and Adonis was just like, what is that?
Yeah. Or when he's trying to like get him to say thank you.
And then it's just funny thinking about kids. It's like, wow, he doesn't even know what a nerd is. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be like you know, like he's like the only reason dude said that is because he's talking to a fucking 6-year-old. Like,
That is, I think, my favorite part about when I'm hanging out with like my cousin's kids. I'll like be talking to them and be like, I was like, do you ever prank your sister? And they'll be like, what's a prank? And I'll just be like, oh man, that's wild. That like like
do you ever TikTok your sister?
what's a TikTok? Don't learn. But no, he's a great. He has great interviews. I think like him and Chicken Shop have similar
Yeah.
energy but different.
Yeah, I watched his. I watched a few of his. And then I saw Amelia on there, and then I watched her like with him, and then I was like, all right, let me finally watch some, a Chicken Shop date. And there's not as much, you know what I mean? Like I don't know as many like of the UK artists, but then I started liking her enough to just like kind of just start clicking on random ones, and I
Yeah.
haven't gone through like them all or anything like that, but I've watched a bunch of hers now, and I really like her, and I've seen other videos of her, yeah, like on like the red carpets at
Yeah.
places, and
I think she's like pretty much pretty independent. If
but
that
didn't
makes
like
sense.
Drake like a year ago say he would do the Chicken Shop date pretty much?
Maybe she's been really trying to get him on.
Yeah,
I mean, like she even talked about it on the Phoebe one recently, trying to get him on. So
yeah.
we'll
Like
see.
he said like a year ago he would, or he like DM'd her like.
Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah.
She's funny. But the Jack Harlow one's good. The
Yeah.
Maddie Healy one's good.
I haven't watched that one. I'm not a 1975 fan. So
That
I've been kind of
video made me like Maddie. Like it like made
like.
me
I don't
tip
want
into.
to. I don't want to like him.
I get why people like him now. He's like
I don't dislike him, but I don't want to like him.
I think he's like what Harry Styles like wishes he was in some ways.
Interesting.
Like he's like the more authentic version of like Harry Styles. I don't know if that makes sense. He like feels like more like what a rock star should feel like, where it's like messing up and like being controversial, but like still being like trying to be a good person. I don't know. I just recently got into Maddie Healy, so I don't know if I'm making mistakes on saying these things. But Keke Palmer has a good one.
Yeah, I saw that one.
That one's good.
That was like
so
the
does
second one I watched.
Daniel Kaluuya has a good one.
I watched that one.
I like the moment she's like,
Once Keke Palmer said Daniel Kaluuya was on it, I was like, all right, and that was like the third one I watched.
where he's like, what's your type? And she's like, actors from this place. She's like, oh, not you, not you.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's really good at flirting. I think Andrew Garfield red carpet obviously is classic too.
It'd be tight if Andrew Garfield went on there.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be random.
I would love if they became a thing.
Yeah, I hope that show gets like big.
Me too. I mean, like it gets like almost $1 million
Yeah.
plus.
Have
each
you?
time.
I've seen another video where she's like at like a festival doing it with like a bunch of people, and I don't know. And then like I don't know. Yeah, it was just funny because at one point like one other dude comes up and is like, "Are we gonna have a date after this?" And dude was like, "I thought we was on a date right now. Like
Yeah.
I'm done. I fuck this, and just like walks off and
That's funny,
yeah,
dude.
great concept.
I rewatched Tick Tick Boom.
Did you?
Yeah, I knew I had to, but it made me feel weird nonetheless.
Why?
I'm just like, damn. Like last year I saw, I was like, damn, that feels like me a little bit. But now I'm like, oh my god, now that like just hits home too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like quickly approaching 30.
Yeah.
But I made peace with it.
Yeah. Shut up, Stevie. It's this year.
Yeah, I know.
It's this year.
It's coming around the corner.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want summer to come because that means that's coming too.
Feels like a little bit of a punch to the face.
Yeah, it's a real like punch right to my soul. But I love it, It makes me feel like I'm drunk on life.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like a punch right to your drunk love,
Damn it. You said I was going to try to find a clever way to say love. You mixed the drunk in
I
there.
know.
All right. All right.
Are you gonna punch me?
Maybe.
What do you mean by that?
Give me a fucking break, buddy.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
I adjusted the sounds. I took one out. I don't even remember what I took out, but I took out the ha ha ha. Yeah. I did that for multiverses, but I don't even use sounds. I can't use sounds while I'm playing.
That makes sense.
I almost like want someone there to just like, wah.
I wish like you could like pay 50 cents to make one of the sounds go off.
Yeah. Ooh, there's probably a way to do that.
But should we talk
yeah.
about the movie?
Yeah. I guess we should.
Dude, what's crazy about this movie is that
Fucking everything.
the director of the movie directed the first movie I ever did on Movie Club.
First movie you ever did on Movie Club?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
What was the oil movie?
He did. He did that.
PTA.
He did that one.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
What was it called? Why am I blanking on this movie?
No country. No, no, no.
No, but it's close to that. It's
Yeah,
close to
yeah.
that.
No Country for Old Men. Blood on the Oil.
That's it. It's something like
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood.
Blood in the Oil.
He also did Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, I
I'm
know
sure
he
you
did
knew-
Licorice
knew that
Pizza.
one.
I thought that was the only Paul Thomas Anderson movie I'd seen. I
Nice
forgot he
one.
did There Will Be Blood.
Honestly, I think this is his first movie.
I think it is. Yeah, because he was a student and he approached Adam Sandler and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna write a movie for you." And Adam Sandler was like, "Yo, cool." I think he had done maybe some short films or something, and Adam Sandler had seen it.
Yeah, it looks like he'd done a bunch of short films.
Yeah, Adam Sandler had seen one of his short films and liked it, and then that dude told him he was gonna write a script for him, and then he was like, "Cool," He's like, "I'm looking forward to it," but never really thought it would happen. And then he got the script and read it and was like, "Holy shit!" And no one had ever wrote a script for him specifically, and
It was.
And it was
perfect for him.
Yeah,
And the movie, I don't. We've jokingly said it a bunch of times. It's Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love.
I think it came out in 2002.
Yeah, great fucking year, the best year ever.
Great year.
Best year ever.
Man, this movie is 21 years old.
Best year ever.
I feel like this movie, if this movie wouldn't have existed, Uncut Gems wouldn't have existed.
Yeah, all right. So
Like this movie feels like Uncut Gems, but a love story.
This movie, yeah, is very much Uncut Gems, right? This movie is fucking crazy, right? That's why I had to interrupt you at the very beginning when you said, what's crazy about this movie is, it's literally everything. This movie pissed me off.
I mean, yeah.
This movie pissed me off for a good hour and 20 minutes, right? Where I'm like, what the fuck am I actually watching? I don't think I've ever seen a movie like this.
Yeah. Well, all right. So the basic premise is, I guess there's this guy. He works in a warehouse doing things.
Yeah.
It's not very clear.
It says it's a plunger company
Yeah.
at some point,
And
but it's a struggling company.
It's Adam Sandler. He has an anger issue. Not all the time. He mostly is spending most of his energy keeping it intact at all times, and sometimes it slips up. His sister introduces him to a girl. He falls in love, and at the same time, he's being hunted down by this scammer, sex phone line scammer,
Yeah.
who's trying to rob him for all his money because he used a sex phone line.
Yeah.
And it's just the colliding world of he's fallen in love, but he's dealing with his the things he did when he was lonely at the same time.
We got to go back since you just did your synopsis. We got to go back to our thing, man.
Doing the real synopsis.
Yeah.
The issue is Google really changed on us. You got to look up the
Yeah.
IMDb one
Yeah.
or the Wikipedia. But no, it's kind of crazy. I think I saw this movie in 2000, somewhere between 2009, 2011, when I was first getting into movies more seriously.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, Adam Sandler's a great actor.
Yeah.
It really blew my mind in that way.
No, this is definitely Uncut Gems of
Yeah.
back in the day. I remember when this came out, and I remember knowing that this was an Adam Sandler movie that wasn't like any other Adam Sandler movie, and it almost kind of was like, oh, okay, that's not really for me right now. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt when it came out. I don't know. I think my dad or something I don't know. Maybe I don't know if he saw it, but
I mean, it's the first movie he did that wasn't his comedy vibe.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Billy Madison or a Happy Gilmore.
There's another movie that I felt was similar, which was Adaption with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
That movie was to me, I remember knowing that movie when it came out. I remember seeing that movie, but not seeing, I never watched it, but I knew that
movie's crazy.
But I remember feeling okay, that's not for me right now. You know what I mean? I don't know. Same with Royal Tenenbaums. I started Royal Tenenbaums when I was 8, and I was like, I know my dad loves this movie, but I can't, this just ain't for me yet.
Yeah.
But later on, it became, I got it, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it was crazy rewatching this movie because I think just too young. Well, I mean, I was probably somewhere between 16 and 18, but this movie just hit a little bit different, just being a little bit older.
This movie made $0.3 million less than it needed to break budget. Or at least in the box office.
Dang. I think it ended up, I mean, obviously it ended up making PTA's career,
Yeah.
but like this was a true indie film.
Yeah.
And like the cast is minimal. It has the guy who's the statue, what's his name? If you have it pulled up, Gears, I don't know if you have the Punch Drunk Love cast, Gears Delmore or whatever. I'm blanking on his name. But he's the statue in the community Greendale.
Oh, Luis Guzman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a statue in Greendale.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That was a crazy get too. I don't know how far into his career he was, but
Yeah.
you know, like that Philip Seymour Hoffman ended up being like PTA's like go-to man for a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Um,
So the real description of this movie is, although susceptible to violent outbursts, bathroom supply business owner Barry Egan is a timid and shy man by disposition, leading a lonely, uneventful life, partly due to the constant berating he suffers from his 7 sisters. However, several events transpire that shake up Egan's mundane existence, one of which falling in love with the one sister's coworker, Lena Leonard, but the romance is threatened when Egan falls victim to an extortionist. Yeah, they make it light. They don't they don't say
Yeah.
why he's getting extorted.
it's interesting because like his character's so like anxiety inducing in a way because you're like, dude, this dude is like a shaking soda can waiting to be cracked. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like he gets poked at so much, like
Yeah.
throughout it. But I thought they captured like the panic of like you're like, oh, I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah.
that thing that like won't let you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of similar to Tar in a sense too, in that sense of like,
Something's creeping
yeah,
up on you.
you know, yeah, exactly.
It was very like pre-internet too. It felt like.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there wasn't really like internet was like existing at the time too, but it was like not.
Like the way that he was able to pull off that like barcode airline thing and like it not be like on TikTok and like a bazillion people find out about
Yeah.
it and ruin it quick.
Yeah.
Or like you know, like the fact that he could even get scammed by a phone sex line like that.
Yeah.
That was crazy. He like answered the phone in the morning and she's just like, I got a favor to ask
Yeah,
you.
he's like, "Good morning." You know?
And then she flips.
Yeah.
She's like, I know your house. I know this.
She starts calling the job. She calls back. He hangs up. And then she flips it at the end. After like he hangs up like 3 times on her, she's like, "You just fucking started the wrong war and you can't afford it." And then hangs up on him. And I'm like, "Oh shit." And then they kind of like don't even do much. Like they kind of like doze away from that storyline and then come back and then doze away from it again and then come back in like a genius way. Like,
Yeah. Because like you kind of forget about it and then they come back
Yeah.
and they get in the car accident.
Yeah.
And then he sees the blood, and he's like, fuck this.
Yeah.
But then at least at that point, he has something to, like, exert his anger on.
Yeah.
Like, his anger has found a purpose. Other than
Yeah.
just being angry, it's like, protect this person.
Yeah. And there's a little sense of, like, she likes his crazy. I think that's, like, the
She
coolest,
finds him endearing.
Yeah, I think that's, like, the coolest part. And I think they, like, slightly show that, like, I think she may be, like, that crazy, too, a little bit. I think she might, like, secretly have her own little, like, you know what I mean, like, backstory she knew about damn near, you know what I mean? Because, like, the very end when they're, like, kissing or whatever, and he's like, I don't know, what does he say? He's like, I broke the bathroom, you know what I mean? Or, I don't know. Is that the last thing he admits to her?
Maybe it is, but he also is like, I cashed in on my things, and if you give me 7 to 8 weeks, I will travel with you all the time, and I
Yeah.
will be by your side no matter what, all the time.
Yeah. And that's after he admits the sex line thing, too. You know
That's what
I
he
mean?
says.
Yeah.
That's when he's
But no,
confessing the
there's
sex
something
line.
he admits when they're, like, kissing, right? And I think it might be the bathroom thing.
I think that might be in Hawaii.
Or no. Yeah, that's true. But at the very end, right, he says something like, I want to smash your head with a sledgehammer. You know what I mean? Because I want to kiss you so bad. And it's like, and then she's like, I want to, like, chew on your eyeballs. And you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
she
It's, like,
does that.
very weird. And then he's like, that's funny.
Well-
I like that. And then they just start kissing, and then the movie's over. Like, I think that's showing, like, oh, she's, like, a weirdo, too, with him. Like,
What's kind of interesting about his character is that, like, if you think about, like, the traditional asshole, like the traditional, like, actual jerk, they are, like, 98% jerk, 2% love bombing.
Yeah.
You know, like, where his character, he's, like, 98% sweetheart, and then, like, 2%
Yeah. He
like
just kind of
hothead. And, like, that's kind of endearing.
Yeah.
Where it's, like, I could see her being like, I've been with people and they're the opposite, like hot
Yeah.
temper all the time, and like they're like, I'm like, I'm so sorry for my hot temper, like I love you, of
Yeah.
course I love you. Where he's just like, I don't know, he's kind of
Yeah.
sweet, but he does have his crazy moments.
Yeah, and then he's just got his shit he's trying to hide. You
Bro,
know what I
when he-
mean?
when
Like,
he goes to the bathroom on their date and just destroys it.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, let's talk.
yeah, and then at the end the guy's like, I'm gonna bash your fucking head in if you don't leave now. He's like, I can't prove you did it.
Yep.
But you need to leave, sir.
Yep. Oh.
The title of this episode is my sister is lying.
My sister is lying, yeah.
That's what he said. Like my sister's a fucking liar. I can't make that the title, but
She's just like, oh. I also love when he gets to Hawaii and like he's on that payphone. He's like freaking out. He's like, "Give me her number."
damn, we didn't intro the pod.
Yeah, we did.
Not really. We introed it, but we didn't say what episode number. We didn't say welcome to Movie Club. We didn't say nothing.
Welcome to Movie Club. This is episode 95.
Yeah. All right. All right. Back to the movie.
You could clip that, put it back. But I love when he's like just starts. You know, he finally connects with her after like you think he's not going to be able to reach her, and then he's like, "I'm in Hawaii." And she's like, "Great, let's meet." And he's like, "Okay, let's meet." He's like, "Have you been married? Are you with anybody?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "We can talk about this in person." But he
she
gets, like,
answers once or twice, and then she's like, "All right, well, we can talk about this." And then he's like, "What did he say after that?" He's like, "Okay, sounds good. Where are you originally from?"
yeah.
You know, like, and then it just goes to the scene.
And the movie's so weird in the sense that like so much stuff happens and you're just like, what is going on? Like the piano in the beginning.
So
And that
much
car
weird shit.
crash?
Just the script too. Half the conversations are like kind of normal, but then like some of them just end weirdly.
Yeah.
Some interactions are very weird.
I
Like,
love like the camera will like pan over at times and then pan back all in the
Yeah.
one take. Like when
Yeah, I still don't understand the piano.
I don't either. I'd like to figure out more on it. I mean, I'm sure I could like reflect and think about it.
Yeah, because it's
It's like-
something like, because he's thinking about it the whole time. He duct tapes it at one point, which I don't understand why. You know, he thinks about playing it. Everyone asks him, "Are you gonna learn to play that? You gonna learn to play that?" And then even she asks it, and then he plays it at the end. It
Yeah.
mixes it in with that last song.
And like he finds it after that crazy car crash that he witnessed.
Yeah.
It's like almost like tied in with his like violence in a way. I love their meet cue, like when they meet the two of them, and she's like, "I gotta leave. Like, can I leave you with the keys?" And that's her, right? At the very start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about like
piano.
like the crash in the piano now, because that is like the kind of what happens in the movie. Like a fucking car crash happens, but then like he finds something beautiful at the end of it.
Yeah. And like he decides to run with it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he like sees it like an opportunity, and like he takes the opportunity
Yeah.
to like do something new.
Yeah.
I loved when they're like in talking about like going on a date, and he's like, "Well, I'm really busy right now at lunch," and like at the same time, like the dude like drives the forklift into the
I know.
garage.
I know that's what. Yeah, just like the way so much random shit happens. The script, like even just some of the background shit, like just some of the chaos that's happening in the like.
And he's
and
like,
that whole shop is like the perfect like location for that. Just like weird and like I don't know.
it was funny because like that's not what set him off. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's all these moments where like you're like, "Oh shit," and like that's not what sets him off. But then he's at like the dinner, and I forget what gets said, and he's smashing the window. Oh.
And the sister too. The sister was good. Like the main sister that was there a lot. That was trying to set him up too.
Yeah,
Like
she's in some stuff.
yeah, she's in a bunch of stuff. I can't even like really think of it, but like
I think maybe The Office for a little bit. I don't even know. Good actor though.
yeah.
I love that, you know, the girl, she like takes the answer and then she like starts to walk away and she's like, no, I'll come back.
Yeah.
She's like, let's
And
go.
then she's
out.
like, she's like, would you like to eat dinner with me tomorrow night? Sure.
yeah.
Will you pick me up? Sure.
It's like, let's go.
Yeah.
But then he's like, I don't know if I'll go to Hawaii. And I do also love that he like the silly not mistake, but he just leaves her in the hospital. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But he had to go take care of business.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's all part of like like he was hiding some shit and he had to like finish that. And even when he comes back and she's just like, don't leave me at the hospital. And that's at the point where he's like finally just like admitting everything and like, and then that becomes like the point where like he doesn't have to hide from her anymore, and they're kind of like just solidified at that point. You know, I don't know.
No, it's
The
nice.
chaos kind of ends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is just wild. Where it's like, oh, the movie like made sense to me at the very end. That movie like is one of those movies that like took me for a ride where I was pissed off. I was like, this is more chaotic than Uncut Gems, and I can hear everything. Like Uncut Gems, I at least just couldn't hear anything, and it was this chaotic. Like
It's like the rom-com version.
yeah,
You know?
But I was not expecting that at all. Like even off the trailer, because I rewatched the trailer last night, like right before I watched it, and I'm like, oh yeah, because I remember watching it like a few months ago and being like, yes, I'm watching this movie ASAP, like, and just never got around to it. But I watched it again and I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be a wild ride. And then I started it and I was like, what in the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like literally, I watched it and then I was like dicking around on my phone or something, and then like the car crash happened, and I was like, whoa, whoa,
Dude,
just
I rewound the car crash
Yeah.
3 times.
I
'Cause
had
was
to
like,
run it.
I was like, wait, what just happened? Like,
Yeah.
how did that happen?
And then you watch it again, and you're like, wait, nothing actually did happen. Like I didn't miss anything. Like it's just because I look up and see the car crash, and then I see the piano, and then all that happened. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, did I miss something? And
Whoa. What if it's like supposed to represent like how he feels like wherever he goes, like violence follows, but then out of nowhere, this like beautiful thing is presented to him, as like the piano, and like he has like a new opportunity instead of like, you know what I'm saying? Like the piano is the girl
Yeah.
in a lot of
Yeah.
ways.
No. I mean, yeah.
That's interesting.
That's the only thing I can think of. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Like.
Me too. But man, I he's such an endearing performance. I love his outfit too.
Yeah. I know. I love the fact that like you think that like we think the outfit is normal, but that sister like will not stop emphasizing the fact that he does not wear that suit. Like that is new. You know what I mean? Like they
Interesting. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like we only know that as his suit. Like that's what he wears the whole movie.
That's wild.
But the sister dwells on that. Like I'm saying, the things that she like, I don't know, the way the script happened, the way the what people bring up, the way people repeat certain things. Like, what's the pudding for? What's the pudding for?
Yep.
You know, like what's the piano for? You gonna learn to play that? You gonna learn to play that? Like,
Yeah. I mean, like the movie does so much to like poke at him.
yeah,
They're like, when's the bear gonna wake up?
yeah,
Like when he's going. I forgot if they're like doing a sales pitch, right? And the sisters just keep calling him, like, but one by one, to be like, "You coming to the party tonight? You coming to the party tonight? I heard you coming to the party tonight."
yeah. Yeah, and then he walks in, they're just all talking shit on him, and then he walks up, and they're like, "Oh, hey, like, yeah, we were just talking shit on you, basically, like, you know, like."
They're like, "Remember when you were a kid and
Yeah.
like we called you gay, and then you threw the thing through the you got
Yeah.
mad?"
Yeah. Oh my God, they brought up the hammer then.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, that's why I got pissed on the date.
Yeah, because then he was like,
She was like, "Yeah, I heard a
"My
story."
sister's a liar."
Sir, your hand is bleeding.
Yeah. Oh, I cut it with a knife. I was
Yeah.
like, "That's a pretty good comeback."
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I was like, "Dude, just say like it was broken when I got in there."
Yeah.
I found it that way.
Yeah. That's how you can tell like someone's lying too. It's like, because if it was broken when you got in there, that's the first. Like, dude, it was broken. Like I swear, like.
I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want
Yeah.
to make you guys feel bad or
Yeah.
like make the restaurant feel like worried. But it was broken when I got in there.
Yeah.
Nah, it was a fun time. It like definitely, I forgot all about like the plot line where he like chases down the, like Philip Seymour Hoffman. And, like,
Yeah,
they have
that was the one thing I
confrontation.
kind of wanted. I wish a little bit more happened. And then, it's like so peaceful, not peaceful, like, and that's that. Walks away. And then he's like, and you fucking pervert. Like, he just yells at him again. Like,
Turns around. He's like,
yeah. Yeah, and then he's like, that's that. And then walks away. And I'm like, like, Adam Sandler just walks out. And I was like, you better break that fucking front window. I was like, you better throw a goddamn hammer through that window. I was like, I wish he would have just went out to a car and just got a hammer and just threw it through the window.
Yeah, me too.
Like, that kind of would have made that, like, just perfect. Like,
Yeah, but I think it goes to show that like he is sort of like growing.
yeah, no,
But also he kicked those dudes' ass.
I get that. He just wanted to be. He wanted that to be that. You know what I mean?
It's like I think the message will get back to him too when he finds his like men bloodied up.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I don't think they never address that happening. Like Philip Seymour Hoffman at least doesn't address that happening.
Yeah.
And I think she said that was her brothers or some shit too. So like
The one in the back's just like, no, I'm not coming out. It's like, okay.
and he does break those car windows too. So that's a little aggression he got out.
A little bonus.
Yeah.
There is something like that's so.
That scene was dope when he just whoops their ass though.
Yeah,
It was great.
I mean, like he sees her bloodied up and he just goes.
Yeah.
He just flips on. He's
And
in
then he
Super
says
Saiyan
that
mode.
to Phillips. He's like, I got strength that's unremarkable right now. He's like, love gives me a strength that is unlike no other strength.
I
Like,
got a woman now.
yeah, and I'm like, and that's when I was like, oh wait, this movie is about to start. Like, really, I did love the excitement of like that whole like sex phone line thing starting to pop off, like, because it takes a while for it to like actually pop off. Where you're like, oh fuck, like. When is that gonna like start like happening? You know what I mean? She like threatens him, and then it just like waits a while. You know what I mean? But
You're almost like, that's not gonna come back up. There's like a part of you that feels like that's like not gonna be mentioned again.
yeah, and then then they do come attack him one time. You know what I mean? They attack him twice. You know,
Yep.
and the first time is crazy enough. Like, but
Because it like really just like the movie does a good job of like making you forget that situation exists, and then it boom.
I
back into it.
love when he's running away from the first fight, and he gets away finally, and then they just pull up next to him on the truck with a flashlight, and they're like, "Where the fuck you going, bro? Like, we know where you live." Like, and then they just drive away, and he's just like stops, like,
defeated.
yeah, and it's like, oh shit.
There is like something interesting in terms of the time period of then versus now of like the guilt he feels over like the sex phone hotline.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too. It's like,
now we got like OnlyFans and
Yeah.
like live camera. You know what I'm saying? Like the stigma has definitely switched up a little bit.
but it also was like, it wasn't even like the guilt of that. You know what I mean? It was the extortion. You know what I mean?
We
like,
have your information.
yeah, well, yeah, it was like a pure of like, holy fuck. Like, it also has to play with like, I think he was like his business was failing. I think he's gambling on the pudding. You know what I mean? The pudding is something that like he was very like.
Oh, I think he's about to have a come up on the pudding though.
I know, but there was also like that was very Uncut Gemsy of like.
Well, especially when he's running around with Luis's character, and he's like, we got to get all the pudding in this store right now.
Yeah.
He's like running with the whole like display case of it.
But I think that was also like he got robbed, so I think that was him doubling down on that of being like, oh shit, like I'm just gonna put it all into this now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah. I mean, there was like a sense of desperation. He was like, I'm just gonna run forever.
and she was like, yo, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And he wasn't willing to tell anybody like really about the pudding too. So I think there is like a sense of like, fuck, this may not actually work, but I think this may work.
I think part of that was too because he didn't want more people to know, and then be
True.
doing the scam too, and then it gets shut down before he gets his
True.
thing. Because that deal is crazy. Like when he finally broke it down,
Yeah.
like he's
I
paying
know.
25 cents, and he gets 4 entries for each of those to be miles.
Yeah, but he has to mix it with another coupon to get like the extra, like to
Yeah.
make it from 500 to 1,000 miles. But
But even then, that's 500 for 25
yeah, but it was
cents.
like I think he broke it down to at the end like $3,000 would get him like a million frequent flyer
you
miles.
never have to worry about flying
Yeah.
again, and that's amazing.
But the other funny thing was like she was like, "Do you travel a lot?" And he was like, "No."
no, yeah,
And then it made sense at the end of like, holy shit, like this pudding is all like coming into play of like he didn't know why he needed that too, but then she travels and then he's like, I can travel with you.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't want to be anywhere that you're not. Like,
yeah.
And
mean,
then
like,
it's like, oh wait, that's also kind of crazy, like to think about too. Of like, oh shit, like that's not the life you know. I think you guys want to live, but you know, like I don't know.
no, definitely. It does all kind of come together, and like the
Yeah.
movie starts with him investigating into that, right? It's like in a quiet room, and he's like on the phone with the guy, making sure that the deal will work.
I watched the first 30 minutes last night and then like fell asleep, so I kind of loosely forgot about some of the first details, and I knew that the opening started him like on the phone a lot, but I don't really remember what it was about. Like,
Yeah, because it kind of seems like his whole deal is that he keeps trying. Like reminds me of Uncut Gem, like that guy, but in like the small business sense of like how can we flip this into profits,
yeah.
and like how can we find little deals and schemes and stuff.
It's not hard to believe like Uncut Gems is not a little bit reminiscent of this, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's Adam Sandler, so like obviously it's gonna be that connection, but
Yeah, but even I'm talking about from the Safdie perspective of like, you know, obviously I don't think they were like, you know, if someone is like wanting to take great inspiration from a movie, they usually say that in like a press run of like, oh, this is hugely inspired by this. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? This is our take on this story, you know, but like, you know, but being film people, like they had to have seen this movie and liked it. You know what I mean?
I mean that might have been like why they loved Adam so much,
Yeah.
or like thought of Adam.
Yeah, or
so
maybe
heavily
they had
for the
this
role.
story that is like, you know, just like a way crazy or different take on this kind of like chaotic story, you know what I mean? But then they're like, oh wait, Adam Sandler, like, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just imagining a world where this is the same, like that's the same character.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just in like, just you know, 25 years later. Or
he
some
just had
shit.
some like level ups, you know.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He's just in a different point now, but he's still the same. You know, he just ended up in New York
Yeah, he's not
dealing
trying to.
jewelry now. You know,
He's not trying to flip 3,000 worth of pudding into
Yeah.
100,000 worth of airplane miles. He's
he
trying
took
to
his
flip
frequent
100,000.
flyer miles and flew around the world and became a different person and
Yeah.
ended up in New York.
Found some gems.
Yeah,
Started to sell
it'd
'em.
just be funny if that was like a little bit of like they're like, okay, let's like,
Connect the universes.
yeah, you know. I mean, I doubt it is, but
No, it's fun to think about though.
I can dream.
Dude, it's kind of crazy to think of like the range of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies.
Yeah, I want to see more now. Like just, especially after forgetting There Will Be Blood is one of them because
Yeah.
that movie is so good.
Well, like you think of like someone like so him and Tarantino are good friends, and you think of like Tarantino and like Tarantino's movies all kind of followed like this same kind of
Yeah,
like vibe in a great way, but like
yeah, but no, you can almost tell a Tarantino movie like you know instantly, or like
yeah, but you got Paul Thomas Anderson who goes from like this to doing There Will Be
Yeah.
Blood to
Yeah.
Licorice Pizza to The Master. Like
Yeah.
it's just like and Boogie Nights. You know, like
yeah,
it's all over the place.
because there are some people, you know, like Tarantino's one of the greatest, but like it is, you know, and it's what people like are trying to complain about James Gunn about, which I think he'll be able to do it a lot better. But it'd be hard to like have Quentin Tarantino maybe direct like a family movie. You know what I mean? Like he maybe couldn't do the Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Like just he could, but he probably wouldn't, and because he doesn't want, you know what I mean? And that's great too. You know what I mean? It's all perspective, but like he couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Because that's just not him. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But like Paul Thomas Anderson already, I just think like has a, you know, this reminds me, you know, I can see the resemblance of Licorice Pizza and this movie
Yeah.
more than I can There Will Be Blood.
Well, like you think about those, there's like the few shots where like it'll be on him in the room, and then like he like pans over, but like he's on the other shot.
yeah.
It reminded me of that shot when they're like coming down the hill in Licorice Pizza in that truck, and it goes from like this and like it traces them as they go down the next one.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that feels like the exact same shot. It felt like seeing
yeah.
like a Wes Anderson repeated shot,
yeah.
but like not symmetrical. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson wise.
Yeah. Yeah, he does that. He does do just some interesting like I don't know. I really loved them walking around the corner with the semi truck.
Yeah.
The semi truck coming and then them walking with it and it's following them on the side and then they turn and then it's just like waiting for that to reveal the car.
Yeah.
And like you almost think, oh, like I was almost thinking too, like, are those guys about to be back there? You know what I mean? There's almost a sense of like, oh, you know, some crazy shit's happening in his life, like it could pop up at any moment. Like, is this that moment?
Yeah.
Oh, but nothing. It's just the car.
You know-
and then they get into the accident too. Like that's right before it.
Oh dang. That's interesting. Dang, that's a good setup. I love the shot where like like they're trying to. She's asking him out for the first time, and they're in the office, and it keeps like panning from like their conversation to like the chaos outside, and like back to them, and then like back to him looking at the chaos happening, and then like her look. You know what I mean? It's like almost like representing like the chaos that's going on in his mind as like he's trying to process that somebody is interested in him.
Yeah. I also love the shots that have terrible exposure settings with like, especially it's like there's one that's great too where he like goes to like he runs into the shop and then leaves and everyone's like, "Yo, where you going? Like where you been?" It's when he got back from Utah and then he's going to find her again. He comes in and grabs the piano and then he walks out. And then they all follow him and it's just them five standing in front of the door, but it's just like blaring white through it. And I'm like, that's such an annoying thing that like you dealing with like natural light, you know what I mean, sometimes, and not having like perfect light setups. But I love the fact that he used that in this movie. And then it happens like it happens multiple times where I'm thinking like, holy shit, this light is like crazy. I'm like most fucking people would like shoot you if you had a shot like that. You know what I mean? He did it when he was walking on the plane too. He walks away and he turns into a glowing person before he takes the left onto the plane, like going down the runway. And I'm like, I just love the, like, it reminds it like it just makes me think, just like when I saw mid-90s randomly talking about Jonah Hill, but like it just made me think I could shoot a movie. You know what I mean? Like, the second I saw that, I'm like, oh, audio is everything. If you can get the right audio clips too to make it, if you get like audio is the toughest part about making a movie. Not toughest, but I mean, you need an idea and like people. You need a lot of shit to make a movie. But
yeah, it's tricky to figure out how you would get like certain audio in certain shots.
Yeah, but it just makes me think. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think you could definitely, especially if you had the right camera.
Yeah, but it just makes me think. Yeah, it's like cameras don't even matter. Like if you're telling a good story and you can pull off, if you can pull off the other things, you can get by with like getting like some shots that may be like.
Yeah, dude, you gotta watch Fablemans at some point.
Yeah, I will.
Because
I'm
like
down.
down. That's like the whole movie.
Okay.
It's like young Steven Spielberg like doing DIY movies.
That'll be next on my list. I'll watch that maybe tomorrow. Like just while like I'm sitting around editing shit.
Yeah, that shit got me amped up, and it made me feel like Steven Spielberg's one of the goats. He told Tom Cruise that Tom Cruise saved cinema this last year at the Oscar thing.
Don't tell Tom Cruise that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's some like not truth to it, but
did he tell Austin Butler that too?
No, it's just because Maverick got so many people back in the theaters that did. But it's still annoying. Yeah. I get the vibe on it.
Yeah,
but good movie. Do you want to rate it?
Yeah. I mean, I gotta give it a 9. I don't think I could give it a full 10, even though it maybe like deserves it. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I'm at a 9 out of 10 too.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much about this movie that's incredible, but like, like it feels like a first movie. Do you know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen Bottle Rocket?
No, I haven't.
It feels like that in some ways, where like you notice.
Is Bottle Rocket like as good as this? Damn near.
I would say it's up there. It's definitely more indie than this.
Okay.
But it's like with Wes Anderson.
But the story, is it like damn near as compelling?
It's a pretty good story.
Okay.
It's at least, it's a Wes Anderson story.
Yeah.
I think they're like trying to rob a bank to fund like making a movie. Or something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. It's Owen Wilson.
I was like the idea of Wes Anderson being like more simple. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's like an early Owen and Luke Wilson performance, and that's endearing too. But like
King Mobius.
I can't think of like what it is that doesn't make this movie a 10, but it just doesn't.
The chaos pissed me off for an hour and 15 minutes, and then it fucking ended beautifully. You know what I mean? But that's my main reason for not giving it a 10 personally.
Yeah. But shout out Adam Sandler for doing this movie.
Yeah.
I think he might have been looking for like a more artistic thing. You know what I'm saying? Like a more artistic project to deviate away from what he'd been doing. And he certainly had the funds at that point to do whatever he wanted to.
Go listen to Smartless with Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's on it. And he talks about this movie like quite a bit. They ask him about it. Just Jason Bateman being a film guy, you know, and
Yeah.
it's like anytime someone in like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie comes up on any podcast too, it's like they got to talk about that movie too. So I'm pretty sure Adam Sandler talks about this in like a lot of like especially podcast interviews, you know. But I've heard him talk about it a few times, and it's just cool to like hear him talk about like, you know, Paul Thomas Anderson as a student. You know what I mean? Like pitching this movie to him, but him having this a lot of respect for him already too. Like I don't know. That just seems crazy to me too, especially at that time. You know what I mean? Like. For him to be as big as he was to like do this too with like just some kid damn near, you know, like
Yeah.
he was like a film student at the time. Like
Yeah. I wonder how old Paul Thomas Anderson was when he did. I'm looking it up right now.
I'm pretty sure he was, you know, I'm pretty sure he was just fresh out of school. You know what I mean? Like early 20s. Like
He could be. I could see it being. Let's see. He's 52 years old now.
oh okay maybe not.
So he was
but
like
I mean
30, 31.
yeah I mean this was yeah
31's a
52?
kid, you know? Yeah, he's 52. So he's like 30, 29. Probably.
So this is 20
2002.
21 years ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you figure he was making it the year before, though.
Yeah.
Maybe 22 years ago.
Yeah. And maybe he went to film school like a little bit later too.
Yeah, he could have gone to like college or just
Maybe he
took
wasn't
gap
fresh
year.
out, but I'm pretty sure
mean,
he describes him as fresh out of film
A lot of
school.
people go to film school like not
Yeah.
like, and you know what I'm saying, not when you're
Yeah.
18, but later on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice to just go to just like drop everything, just move to LA, go to film school and
yeah, or just drop everything, go to LA, and just start making movies.
yeah.
Bro, it's kind of, I mean, like, Taika didn't get started until 30. PTA didn't get started until 30.
Yeah, I
It
mean
makes 30 seem a lot younger than it is. It's so
Yeah.
strange because, like, 30 in movie, like, making-wise is young.
yeah, what was it? Wasn't Oprah like broke until she was 28 or some shit?
Something like that. I mean, Mark Cuban was broke at 28, too. He's not, not movies, but I think of that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's so funny because, like, in music, I feel like all the time that, like, 30 is old. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I mean
It's not real.
I'm pretty sure Frank popped off at like 27. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Frank
Frank's
was
like,
27. Bon Iver was like 27.
Yeah.
Jay-Z was like 28.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's still...
Yeah, most people actually start doing it. They're just 28, like finding ways to make them seem like they're 22. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It's just that I don't know. I think Tick Tick Boom is like one of the best descriptions of that feeling of like
yeah, you're
feeling
just
like
dwelling on that movie right now.
yeah. But I mean, I'm just dwelling on that too cuz I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm hitting that.
I'm with you, bro.
I know you are. I know
I'm
you
a
are.
few days off.
I just think it's funny that like music it feels so old, but like movies doesn't feel old at
Yeah,
all.
no, that's real.
Even like painting, 30
But-
doesn't feel old for painting.
And this has been my thing, and it only, you know, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's not always easy to think this, but music, the way I've always thought about it is just like, the more time goes on, the more smarter you are.
It's
Like
true.
literally, like every year that passes, I think, oh wow, if I would have blown up last year, God, I wouldn't know this. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know this. I would have fucked that up. I would have, I would have done this.
You've been
you
locked
know?
into that sound, into that
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, or just like tons of shit. Just even how to interact with people. Like, you're always learning shit, how to like market certain things. I don't know how to do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like this next upcoming session of releases that I'll have, or like run of releases, will, like, finally feel maybe like the first time I'll be like, all right, I did everything right
hell yeah.
that I could have done right.
Yeah, I mean that's
Like, I feel like up to this point, we've just been learning, if that makes sense.
that's always been my metaphor for it is like you got to play it's poker, you got to have a good hand, and until you get all your cards right, it's just
Yeah.
but it's like that it takes a lot of work to have all your cards right. You can have 4 of them right too, and if you don't have the video, the 5th card, you know what I mean? Like, so, I don't know. There's always something that's just like
And it's like,
missing.
it's always about finishing the project to get to the next one and growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because, like, artists in general are just more observant people that, like, we're just, like, sensitive to, like, the world that, like, it gets into our own heads about things. Like, it's
Yeah.
easy to, like, start to, like, let that fuel into your,
Yeah.
like, anxieties. I've been listening to the Rick Rubin new book. It's pretty good.
You brought that up earlier. What were we talking about?
Oh man, what was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about. He had a point about just different people's writing methods. He was
Yeah,
going
yeah.
in.
We're talking about writing in the car.
And like, there's something about like when you're driving, like your mind is like focused on driving, so it's like free to not worry about things. So you just start like coming out with melodies. It like is a distraction for your brain. He was like some people, and that's like why some people, and like this is true for me, like to have like I like to have a movie playing when I'm writing, even if I'm not watching the movie the whole time. It like is something that like because maybe like the
You know-
movie will drop a line, and I'm like that way you said that I'm just using that now.
You know what I want to do?
Drive around and write.
No, even better.
Juggle knives while writing.
No, even
Okay.
better.
Okay,
But you're getting closer.
let's hear it.
I'm gonna start working out and recording melodies and stuff in between. You know what I
dig it.
mean? Like
I dig it.
I'm gonna use that as a way to, I'm gonna use working out as a way to clear my mind, and then I'm gonna use that time to also creatively think of melodies and stuff.
Dude, it's a
Because the melodies I come up with in the car, I'm like, oh my god, because that's the fucked up part, right? You be sending me these beats and shit, right? And I'd be driving home from work, listening to them, and I'd be like, ooh, I'd be doing everything fire on them, and then like a few nights later when I will want to work on some shit, I'll play some beats and I'll be like, yeah, I don't know I don't know.
It's like, well, what was I thinking before?
I don't know.
No, I get that. I'll voice memo record a ton in the car.
Yeah,
while I'm doing
I
it,
need
but
to
then
do that more.
I forget to go back
But you're
and look
playing
at
it
them.
off. You're playing it off the phone. Like I can't.
Usually I can record it with the watch. I know.
All right, but that. All right. All right, but that is a very good selling point for Apple Watch for me.
That's
Finally,
my favorite. That's my favorite feature.
you can just record voice memos into it, and it
yeah.
doesn't. Fuck
I
with
set
your
my thing up to have voice memos like it's one of the buttons that I can press.
Holy
like,
shit!
right away.
I gotta get an Apple Watch
So
now.
I'll be playing the beat.
But I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna wear it. I'm just gonna
Just gonna do it for
carry the
that?
Apple Watch with me. Like
But I mean, like what you were saying about when I go running,
I have an iPod Touch. I might just.
that'll work.
Yeah.
You can just use the voice memo record on that. I mean, like the computer. I mean, you're not gonna be driving around with your computer, but that's what I'll do too. Is I'll play the beat on the phone, record it with the voice memo on the computer.
Yeah.
But what you're saying about working out does work. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes it'd be on a long run, and like halfway through or like towards the end, out of nowhere, I'll just be like, oh my god, like what if I did like the music video for this song like this? And
You
it's
just
like,
work out to beats too.
and like it just something just comes to you, and you're just like, dang, okay.
Yeah. Or you talking about? You say you got music video ideas while running.
Yeah, I'll get
Yeah.
or like just release something will hit me where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, like what if I did
Yeah.
this? I don't know, like
That's me all day at work. Not all day, but that.
little epiphanies hitting you.
Yeah.
It's action, and that's the hard part.
Yeah, but yeah, you just gotta do it.
Yeah,
Work also teaches me that too. Just fucking just do it.
no, definitely, because I'm trying to.
Nike.
I haven't mentioned it a bunch, but I'm trying to actually write a screenplay this year, and like I just don't. I'm still working on like the plot points.
Bro, honestly, please, I'll brainstorm with you. I'll help you because I don't know.
Yeah, I
Like-
won't mention the idea on the pod, but I've mentioned it to you before,
Okay.
and I'm getting it closer and closer to where I want it to be. But sometimes I'll just be like going about life, and then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit! Like, what
Yeah.
if that hits you? In the Rick Rubin book, he kind of talks about that too, of just like that's just like tapping into like
Yeah.
the universe, if that makes sense. Like sometimes like you'll just hear a line on TV and like gives you a whole idea for a movie, and like that's just like someone in the universe. I don't know. It's way crazy how that works. But the Rick Rubin book is a great creative book. I feel like, just to like
Yeah.
he puts a lot of things to terms in like generic ways that feel very.
Is there anything he
Relatable
says
about being
about
creative.
workshopping?
Yeah, I mean like the whole thing is just like a creative way of life-ing. I'm sure it gets to it at some point. There's times where he does mention the artist he works with, and sometimes he doesn't. There's a moment where I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was SZA. He was like, there was this artist who just released something really successful, and she felt like she like didn't want to make music anymore. And then I said to her,
Or Doja.
or Doja, and he was like, basically just said to her, "It's like, are you happier when you're making music or not? Would you be happier like not making music, like doing nothing, or making it? It kind of like is hard to do it." She was like, now that you say that, I'd rather, even if it's kind of hard, I'd rather still be doing it. Like maybe not all the time, you know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
still be like not giving it up
Yeah.
for forever.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds like what SZA went through after Control. Um, but
yeah, I mean that's a I feel like that's a easy feeling. That's how I feel about music a lot too, where it's like sometimes I hate it so much and then but it's like I could never even imagine like just not doing it, you know, like even
Yeah.
if I don't do it for
Yeah.
months.
I mean, like, even when I'm mad about how it pans out, like, like you put out a release and it doesn't go the way you thought it was going to go, like, I'm still glad that I did that over not doing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I feel like
Yeah.
more people
Dude, yeah. I mean
want
that's
to
my
do something and have never done it than have, like, want to do it and done it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean or there's people that are fucking doing it. You
it's
know what I
true.
mean? Doing it great and won't fully do it by putting it out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's like the
Yeah, he talks about that too, about, like, why some people will, like, have, like, a great album and then never do it again.
or never put it out.
Yeah, that too. Frank. But who knows what's up with Frank? Album
Yeah.
coming soon, I know it.
Yeah, it's coming.
But I mean, Kendrick maybe would be a great example of that.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
sure Kendrick's
He
scratching
finished.
albums.
He finished after Damn. He really didn't do much until, like, he said he had a huge writer's
Yeah.
block up until he finally got working on.
Yeah.
Like, from my perspective, I'm just thinking, like, he's one of the greatest
But-
of all time. He has to be working at all moments.
I mean for like I think it's more crucial on a standpoint of from people that haven't done you know what I mean, not even like saying that in a
Haven't got,
negative
like, the
standpoint, but
accolades.
yeah, you know what I mean, like I think that's more of a thing cuz that's what I see, you know what I mean, that's what I see around the whole city, you know what I mean, like that's always been a thing, you know what I mean, tons of people that do it, you know what I mean,
And do it well.
yeah, and make good records and don't want to put them out because they don't have other things with them, you know what I mean, and it's like I get that too. I get all of it. You know what I mean? But it sucks seeing that. You know what I mean? Because yeah, it's like Kendrick. I would I fully understand going 5 years without like like you want to top. Damn, you want to top to Pimp a Butterfly. You want to like
You went on one of the
yeah,
crazier runs of hip hop.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying too, and I feel like I have a lot of respect for people who just, like, make great shit, post it, and then go on. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just some people that they don't seem, like, phased by, like, accolades or, like, views or, like,
Yeah.
things, and I try to be. I, like, would aspire to be like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I feel. I feel like I have like a 15-minute or like I like feel 15 minutes of excitement when I like upload a song and then it's done. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or like when you see it live, like that's always like a good like 15 minutes, but it's like literally like it's 15 minutes of like joy for me. You know what I mean? And that's about it. Like,
Yeah, it's like the first day it feels like a relief. Second day you're like, woo.
an
and then-
album's different. You know, an album will last a
Yeah.
little bit longer than
I
that.
usually will go through the process of, like, like to put the song out and then I submit it to playlists, and then it's like, like a great submission on playlist, you maybe get like 10% back, and
Yeah.
that'll really bring you back down to earth. Just seeing all the people being like, good song, not for us. Good song, not for us. Good song, not for us. And it's just like, oh,
And then one that's just like, why did you do 132 tempo?
yeah,
Like, it's like, wait, what?
yeah. Just like some kind of comment that just like
Yeah,
makes no
yeah.
sense.
Like you really used a pad on this? Like,
I can't believe you sung on this
Yeah.
one.
be like, the song's cool, but the snare,
Yeah,
it's like, wait, what?
something so specific. You're
Yeah.
like, at this frequency, it was a little bit muddy.
Dude, and yeah, music's so crazy to me because like I literally listen to like I still all right. The Lil Yachty album is 10 times better to me than the first time I heard it, and it was never bad. It is. Songs I hated, I'm loving now.
Yeah,
Like everything except for the Failure interlude is a non-skip to me.
I like the Fairly interlude though. Just 'cause
I
know
like it too.
Just because I know it's Alex G on the guitar.
I like it too, but it's
You're
just
crazy
I don't
love.
need to hear like him talking about losing a finger and still having 9 like
Yeah.
too many times. But
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's like the Kanye intro on the
yeah,
the.
I like the
Yay.
Kanye intro.
You like that one? I like that one too. I think
That
about
one-
killing myself, and I love myself.
That one, it's always like it's so alarming. It's so like it feels manic to listen to that one, but like that's the beauty of it too. Like
Bro, did you see that Rolling Stones put that at the highest? They had made a top 50 like terrible or worst albums by great artists
Ye is on it,
is the number one.
or not Ye, but is that Ye?
Yeah, it's Ye. They put that at number one. I thought that was wild. I was like, that's not even a bad album.
Yeah, that's not a bad album.
Like Kanye, like Fallen stuff aside.
That's like
him-
that's like a Life of Pablo like B-side album. You know what I mean? Like,
It's got Ghost Towns on it. It can't be a bad album.
yeah. But that's also like a song that should have probably been on Kids See Ghosts too. Like,
Yeah. It is just weird that like music in general, like you even have something like Blonde, which is just so universally acclaimed, and you'll like just talk to somebody and be like, nah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I also like it took me a while, cuz it's funny, but like there is a point of like Blonde is very
Don't say it.
light in drums. And that's hard for people to get behind.
That's true.
And that's a simple, it's true, and yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and like that, it's crazy because like at the same time, that's like part of why Blonde is great.
Yeah. Oh,
It's because like it like went against the grain of like drum
exactly.
front, but that's fair.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are expecting Frank to drop maybe closer to what he's gonna drop now, or like what he was doing the last 3 years, like the dancey stuff. They thought that's what Blonde was gonna be, like a big
Yeah.
pop celebration.
Blonde is it's like, and Frank even is like an artist.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And those people, sometimes, and Frank has surpassed like most artists. There's a lot of artists that like that are like really like didn't do well. You know what I mean, more or less.
Yeah.
And I mean that on all fronts. You know what I mean? I feel like directors are like that too. There's some people like that, like where it's like, well, maybe directors not as much. You know what I mean? There maybe not as much people that are like highly loved, that are like never were successful per se, but there's a lot of people like that, in a sense of just like, oh, these are the people that it's like, oh, everybody who does it knows how fucking genius they are. But
Yep.
but just like some people will recommend you people over, you know what I mean, like
yeah,
good movies. It's like, all right, the general public is only gonna understand certain shit and be
Yeah.
fed certain shit too.
I also feel like Frank is definitely like a Wes Anderson or a Tarantino in that
Yeah.
sense. Like we're like,
no, Frank has surpassed like the artist. That's why he's like kind of like,
yeah, like you'd ask like the general public and they just know who Frank Ocean is because he's
Yeah.
just known for like the same way like a Tarantino's known, just
Yeah.
for like being good at like the craft.
yeah. It's just every time I run into people that like don't really know Frank or like know of him but don't really know Frank, I'm like, wow, like it's more people than nowadays. It's more people than like are like Frank stans. You know what I mean? Because
True.
like if you ask anybody, it's like Frank is like, and it sucks. It sucks to have to even put, but Frank, I always just say this, like he's just like a god level artist. You know what I mean? He is like god of the music. If you ask me, you know what I mean? Like the literal like, you know what I mean? Just like end all be all. You know what I mean? Like that's the one. You know what I mean? And I hate to put that on anybody. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah, but I mean like if you walked into like a college dorm room like right now, like the only artist that would consistently be in people's rooms from the last like decade or 2 decades, like in this millennium, would be probably Frank. Like you'd be most likely to see like a Blonde poster.
true.
I think over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're probably right.
No, he is really in the god level. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Like he's made that big of a dent culturally
yeah,
without having like a song that like is a radio hit, which is weird.
yeah,
Cause like you even think of like Rihanna. Like Rihanna's got tons of radio hits.
yeah.
Did you watch the Super Bowl performance?
Nope.
Fair.
Nope, I did not. Yeah, we haven't talked since the Super Bowl, probably, have we?
No, that was last week.
Yeah. So, the Flash trailer.
What'd you think?
Interesting. It looks good.
Yeah, it does
looks
look good. It does look good.
It looks really good.
It looks like very emotional and like an interesting concept.
It looks like the story is going to be interesting too, and like maybe not like typical.
Yeah, Supergirl seemed cool.
Yeah. Seems like there's a lot going on. It seems marvelly in that aspect, but like a good way, because it's like, all right,
Yeah.
like
I don't know how I feel. I'm like I'm hyped for Michael Keaton being back, but also feels like a little strange because he lost the Batgirl role. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I also just love I love how there's like this just the one clip of Ben Affleck that's like a super serious looking clip,
Yeah.
and then we get like the total cheesy Michael Keaton. So I already love the two blend of different Batmans like on in the same movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This isn't even like some Elseworld shit where it's like we just get like a comic Batman and then like you know what I mean like a super serious Batman, but like this is both of that blended in one.
Yeah. No, definitely. It is. It feels like a little bit strange that like I feel like the internet doesn't know how to react to it, and like
Yeah, I mean,
that's
it's
gonna be
funny that the
interesting.
internet, like, I feel, I mean, maybe, I mean, I've never noticed anything, but I feel like it's funny that the internet isn't, like, boycotting it, you know?
But like some people are.
Are they?
Some people are.
Yeah.
And like some people are just commenting on the fact that like it even exists. But then it's like it's such a weird. It's not like they filmed this movie now. You know, after all that, like before it.
Yeah. But there is a weird thing going on where Warner Bros. Is, like, definitely, it feels like, and they should care about their people.
It seems
You know
like
what I
they're
mean?
just like trying to like clean it up for their own.
No,
image.
but it seems like it seems like they want Ezra. They all they're saying is Ezra is getting help, and they're gonna talk to Ezra after Ezra gets help, and they wish Ezra the best during it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, and to me that seems like there's potential of if this movie's big enough, Ezra's staying.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That's all I'm getting from that, and yeah, and I'm all for DC right now and love, and I don't put any of this on James Gunn,
Yeah.
but
And I'm also I've mentioned before, but I'm big on allowing people to be like
Yeah.
rehabilitated
yeah,
and like a chance to do better.
yeah.
But
But there is also the thing of like, yeah, like that whole situation was just so weird, and we don't know anything about none of it, and there was just so many weird
that's
stories.
the part that feels weird. There's like what was true of it and like what was
Yeah.
just tabloid and like what was
And there was just multiple shit happening. There was also like the shit happening and then more shit happening to where it's like that was kind of like a big fuck you to like everything too, to where it's like I get why people, that's why I'm surprised I haven't seen more boycott for this movie.
Yeah.
But
like who knows like who was bandwagoning on thing. I don't know. It really just felt like the most surreal situation.
what if in 5 years Ezra is one of the biggest actors ever and there's like a huge documentary about like, this whole situation and like
Maybe Kevin Feige's planting these stories to try to take down the DC. It's his last resort.
Sniper Feige up there. He's
Bro.
not shooting at Marvel actors for leaking no more. He's shooting at DC actors.
I've seen people. It's crazy the position James Gunn's in because I've seen people get mad at him from all different angles.
Yeah,
People are like, they're mad about Flash. They're mad about his wokeness.
But look,
I feel like he's gonna deliver.
all this is driving the fucking bus right now. You know what I mean? Like it sucks. You know what I mean? It's terrible when people, use bad press to push it. But I'm happy for him right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think he knows. Like all right. I think he's well equipped to deal with all this. You know what I mean? He clearly is showing that. You know what I mean? And
I mean, he got canceled.
what? Oh yeah.
you know, he's been through it.
Yeah.
And like one of his leads has been canceled before. Not
Yeah.
canceled, but people
it's not
have
even
a
like,
bad
yeah,
taste for
like-
Chris Pratt a little bit.
Yeah. And not even like a sense of like, oh, like he's you know what I mean, experiencing cancellation, you know what I mean? But I just think like he's like a good person like to just stick through some bullshit. You know what I mean? And like to like just do a good job despite like all people hating him. Not hating, you know what I mean? Like but I just think like it's hard to it'd be hard to deal with that. You know what I mean? And like I don't think, I think a lot of people, I think if Dwayne, imagine, 'cause didn't Dwayne want that position?
I think so.
I think Dwayne really wanted that position, which would have been weird. You know what I mean? But like, even anybody. Like, imagine if Dwayne got it. Imagine if who would be another like who's like a directorial. Imagine if like Matt Reeves took it. Like I don't know much about Matt Reeves, so I'm not gonna like pinpoint his character too much. You know what I mean? It's just a hypothetical. But I could picture someone like, and maybe not even someone like Matt Reeves, but just a director coming in and being like, "I'll do this." You know what I mean? Because whoever does it and makes a decision, they're getting some hate. You know what I mean? No matter what.
There's no right call with it, which is the hard part.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, just because Ezra, after filming it, like went on like his crazy rampage of, all that stuff. There's still like a ton of people that worked on this movie.
Yeah.
That, you know what I'm saying? It all falls apart because of one person's action.
Yeah.
It's not like
But even aside from the Ezra stuff, I just feel like, just being in the position of like dealing with the comic book movies and stuff is probably like, that's just a tough position. That's
a lot
like,
of moving parts.
Yeah, that's like just, out of nowhere, you run an Apple now. You know what I mean? Like, that's like a different type of stress that goes through your veins.
Well, because then, like, that's where the money's coming in for these comic books. That's this whole legacy, like, of 100 years almost of.
Yeah, and it just seems like James Gunn is the perfect choice to just come in and just
balance creativity.
And still be able to, like, deliver some projects that like have a little bit of love in them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure in 5 years it's gonna start like, I don't know. I'll try to be as objective as I can. You know what I mean? But like, I'm sure we'll start to notice like him not turn, but like, you know what I mean? Just become a little bit more business minded and a little maybe less passionate about it.
I mean, you even see that's happened to like someone like Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Who like went on to create DreamWorks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even
like
Kevin Feige, you know what I mean? Kevin Feige was that guy. He was the comic book guy.
Yeah.
He was the one that like he loved this shit. He was, just working on movies on the side, like on the early comic book movies as, EP and you know what I mean? And just
do you know what? This is a random hot take, but it kind of relates. I think that Mr. Beast has more influence than any actor out right now.
Mr. Beast. I talk about him a lot just because I know like a couple of the younger kids at work know about him. And just because I think about Mr. Beast a lot. It's crazy because that is just business like no other. Like,
no, for sure.
It's almost like it's almost like hard. Like I like just instantly want to think he's like a money launderer. You know what I mean? Or like, you know what I mean? He's doing some illegal shit too because like his shit is just so crazy.
Nah, I think he's all by the books.
When I ordered the Beast Burger, I ordered that one time. You ever ordered that?
No, was it good?
It comes from Red Robin.
Yeah.
That was insane.
That was the geniusness.
I know. I was late.
Yeah.
I was so late. That's insane.
Yeah, he's a smart dude. But like, I think he has more influence than anyone. Like, I feel like actors have really not done anything to keep their influence, if that makes sense.
Yeah, most of them have.
Like, some people do, like, like Jason Bateman with Smartless, but like, I don't know. These internet personalities, like Twitch streamers or like YouTubers, like have so much more relevance to people's lives than the actors, but the actors in their brains think they're that relevant.
I don't know if they do anymore.
Sometimes
much.
I think they do.
I don't know if they do. But
Maybe
I
right.
feel you. I
think they like are kind of stressed out that they don't.
Maybe, yeah. Some of them.
Maybe that would be the better way to say it.
I think that's older. I think that's like a few years ago. That might have been more like of a thing. But I think now, like, it seems like I don't know. I feel like I listen to so much actor, and I feel like it's a job. It's literally just it's a job. You know what I mean? And it's just work to most of them. Like they, most of them are so different from most of their characters too, which is kind of weird too. Like.
Yeah, I guess I mean like when people are doing campaigns or like influencing campaigns, it's like weird that they still like go to actors for commercials and stuff like that first. When like other people have such a great reach, and I'm starting to see it play out because like do you know who Valkyrie is?
Yeah,
she's about to be in a Mark Wahlberg movie.
Really?
And it's like they're finally picking it up that like, you know what I'm saying? Like they could reach a bunch of people if they put one of these people in the movies.
I brought this up on the pod before a long time ago after we watched Four Brothers, but my yearly Facebook memory came up where I had a Facebook post that says Mark Wahlberg is a fucking creep in like 2011. In the
Oh,
comments under it, actually whoever like replied to me doesn't have an account or we're not friends anymore because it's just one comment and it's me being like, "Oh, you watching this movie too?"
oh,
And then I'm like, "What fucking movie was I watching?" That was like, but
oh,
anyway, yeah, you're right. Like Twitch streamers and all that. Oddly enough, I think about that all the time. Like when the weird cameos that some people do, like even Zach Fox in Abbott Elementary is like a good example of that. If you ask me, of like, oh, he is influential. You know what I mean? He's one of the funniest people, if you ask me. Um, but in Ant-Man, there was a scene. It was maybe Baskin Robbins at the very beginning, and there was three people, and they like were like waving to him, and it was very quick. And the guy on the right, I'm like, who the fuck is that? Is that Glenn from Walking Dead? No. I'm like, who is this? It was just like the opening of Last of Us, where I'm like, I'm like, I know that face.
know that face?
Yeah, but I can't think of it. It was Ryan from BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Oh, whoa.
He was in it. He had longer hair. Do you remember seeing?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you
Yeah, I know what you're
remember
talking
seeing
about.
him
Yeah,
in that movie?
yeah.
Now that I say that, you can pinpoint that
I can
exact
pinpoint.
thing where Ryan was just a weird little but I'm like, that's pretty funny that he's in it. Like, it just made me think of like, oh, that's like the internet in a big movie right there. Like,
Yeah, it is.
but like very lightly used. It's like, how the fuck did he end up in there? But they need to, yeah, like, God, if if Logan Paul was in a fucking movie right now, that shit would like probably blow up.
Yeah.
Like,
I mostly feel like actors are missing their potential to like build a community really easily.
yeah.
But also, I'm sure they don't want that too,
Well, that's the other thing.
because
Is
like they already have so much attention on them, and like they want that little piece of their lives private.
yeah.
And like that's part of the mystery, you know. Like you don't want to ruin their character.
But actually, no. I feel like a lot of them do want attention too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I feel like they just think that they could just like pop
Yeah.
on Instagram, or it's like the '90s and people are like, or like 2000s too, and the paparazzi will tell us.
But even think about like there is like just like there's a whole wave of the internet that is like that uses the internet differently, and then
Yeah.
there's like the internet. You know what I mean?
Well, and
That
there's
like
people-
understands the internet.
There's like people that like mainstream internet for people that don't interact with the mainstream,
Yeah.
like the main like anti-mainstream media,
Yeah.
mainstream media. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. It's hard to explain, but there is like
the people who are on like Twitch. I use Twitch a bunch now.
yeah, there's the internet for people, and then there's the internet for internet people.
Yeah, like the normie internet,
Yeah.
and that's like Instagram and like kind of Twitter.
Yeah.
But like once you start getting into like YouTube and Twitch, you start reaching like the terminally
Discord.
online, Discord
Yeah.
especially. You start reaching like the terminally online people,
Yeah.
and like that's a whole.
And
different
those are the
culture.
people that use Twitter and Instagram differently than
Yes.
normal people too, you know.
Yes. I watch Hassan a bunch of times. I just cannot. He like does like these 8 to 10 hour streams, and he's just like reacting to the internet basically.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn. Like your brain has to have like fried a little bit.
Yeah.
But he like does a great job with it. But I'm like, oh, that has to
Yeah.
just ruin your mental health in some ways.
But just doing Last of Us and like reacting to that like made me realize like holy shit, like that's like streaming is like gaming streaming is kind of like tougher than like
Oh yeah.
some shit than just like the more like kind of chill streams, you know what I mean? And kind I don't know, like
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know, it'd be cool to figure out like the ways to like I don't know
Make
that, but I don't even know if I would want to be one of those people on YouTube necessarily, because you were talking about like even with the reaction shit, like oh, what about just doing pictures and stuff, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know, maybe I could maybe consider doing like movie news, you know what I mean, for Movie Club, you know what I mean, or some shit like that, but then I'm like, I don't even know if I want to be one of those like you know, hey guys, like welcome, you know, today we're gonna talk about, you know,
Yeah.
Ant-Man Quantumania, you know, what the box office is doing, you know, and I don't know, like,
No, because I've this is kind of similar. I've thought about with my music streams. I'm like, what if there's people that do music streams that essentially take requests and like do covers, and like there's like a bunch of violinists and guitar. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I'm like, oh, I could do something like that. But then I'm like, I don't really want to sit on the camera for 3 hours and like do covers. Like, I
yeah.
like it because
Just the
I'm
two
working on my music. It's like I'm already doing this.
the two shiny streams to me felt dirty, and that's not dirty, but it just feels weird. Like, all right, now I'm just like working for
Me.
streams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not
you were,
like
you were
but
catching me as shiny.
yeah, but no, not even you know. But
No, I know what you're saying though.
but I thought you said me like working for myself. You know what I mean? Like in like a you know like a
I meant
not
like,
in
I
like
meant
in
literally
a
for me,
kind of negative
because
way.
I got the shiny because I was watching the stream. Sorry.
Yeah. But it does feel like you're your own boss and you're cracking down on yourself, which kind of feels like a little weird. You know what I mean? And especially in like the creative world or like something like that of just doing those like those. I don't even know like you know. Yeah, like giveaway streams or something. You know what I mean? Like, but then that's my classic problem with just nowadays of like, oh, I love doing some shit, but I'm also not willing to like.
Sacrifice the other shit.
Yeah, I'm also not willing to like videotape myself and be like, "Hey, go listen to my new song." You know, like
Yeah, that is funny. I'm like willing to record these demos live.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, I'm
singing
willing to
straight
play
up.
I'm willing to catch shiny Pokemon for people. Like I could and I would, but I'm not willing to
Go on Instagram and just be like, "Yo, I dropped a new song. Please listen and share that shit."
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even bravely enough be one of those people that DMs you.
Yeah. Dude, someone pointed this out on I was like scrolling on TikTok and this like changed my perspective on things. You know, like you feel like sometimes I feel like it's narcissistic for me to be like, "Yo, I have a new song out. Like, please listen to that," and like text somebody and be like, "Yo, please listen to my new song. Like, I just dropped it." But then they were like, "Isn't it kind of narcissistic to just assume that people will like see your stuff
True.
and like come to it?
True.
That like it matters so
Call
much?"
me out.
But no, like that's
no. I know. I'm calling myself out
Yeah.
right now because holy shit.
But I was like, damn.
No.
That's true. Because like sometimes like I'll be going about life and like I'll be hanging out with friends and one friend will be like, "I liked your new song," and someone will be like, "You dropped a new song? I didn't know about that." And I'm like, yeah. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like I'm like, I
No,
guess I
no.
could have told you. Like it feels weird to like think that you would care, but that's just in my
Yeah.
own head about it.
I've thought about that in different ways, but like, yeah, 3 years ago, I would never just like in conversation like talk about like you know like at work, right? I would never just be like, yeah, so I was making a song, you know what I mean, or like I do a podcast, like I would, but now I like shamelessly am just like, oh yeah, I do a podcast, you know, I record it, you know, like if it happened, I'm not like overly, but you know, I used to be so just not like I just would never just say that. I didn't want to try to sell myself to people, you know.
No,
what I
I
mean?
get
Like,
that.
and there's also the sense of like I just want people to just flock to it. You know what I mean? I just want to put it out and the people who it's for find it. You
Yep.
know,
And like I make the Instagram post and that's
yeah.
And there's like a difference between like because we both experienced this where like someone you like are kind of internet friends with just like hits your DM with, "Yo, I just dropped a new song," and like you'd already seen it. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but there's also like I think it's like just kind of even like what we're talking about, like artists, and like just the difference between like artists and people, and like not even saying like artists are too much different from people. You know what I mean? Because there's people are artists in their own ways that
Yeah.
aren't musical artists, but like I think that like DMing someone who's trying to desperately get their music off the ground and say, "Hey, listen to my music," maybe not the smartest idea.
Yeah.
But it can be different than DMing someone who just, you know what I mean, who may not even be in the music world, and they might be like, "Yo, that's fucking sick. I'm gonna check that shit out now."
Yeah, and it feels like you trust them.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know, if like
Yeah.
you know, like a friend sent me something, it's like, "Oh, that's so nice that you thought to share that with me." Like
Yeah.
I feel very special.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Um,
There are times where it's like, even with you, like, you know, like sometimes where it's like, all right, like I may not always see shit to where I'm like, yeah, tell me when you're streaming, you know what I mean? And And then you did one time, and I wasn't able to pop in, and
Yeah, I feel like with the I was just so random with it.
yeah. No, I know, but that's the time where it's like I would appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because and I
I
don't know,
feel the
like
same way about your stream. Sometimes I'll come on and it'll be like Corey was streaming 20 minutes ago, and I'll throw my computer. I have to go buy a new one.
yeah. To where it's like we should be more open to just being like,
No,
yo,
definitely.
like I know you would pop into my stream. I should tell you when I stream. You know what I mean? Vice versa. Like,
Yeah.
you
No,
know.
for sure. It's been weird because like I've had moments around like family, especially like this last year at like Thanksgiving and Christmas, where like a few people were like, one person referred to me as an artist, and another person was like, "Yo, my son showed me your song, like I really liked it," and then like to be fun, they were like, "You should add some banjo," and I was like, "That's like, see, like that's a joke that like I like it's not like making fun of me."
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like a moment I was like, "Oh," after like
Yeah.
all of these years, like
Not like how you gonna pay your bills though.
yeah, it like felt like I had worked all these years to like now they're just like they see me. You know what I'm saying? And like maybe not all the way, but it was like, damn.
Yeah. They may not understand everything, but they
Yeah.
know that's what you do.
Yeah. And it was like I don't know. It was like almost like I felt goofy for trying to hide that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang.
Yeah. No, exactly.
In like a way, you know, you're just trying to like protect yourself from being hurt.
Yeah.
You know, because like it's a pretty vulnerable thing to do.
No, thinking about the DMs, because I've always been one that's like flagrantly vocal about how much I hated it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like that's something that like a year or two ago I like was like in my head like fuck, I'm pretty dumb. I like maybe I should have been on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe I should change my ways of thinking a little bit. You know what I mean? And be a little bit more open to selling myself, and
Yeah.
and maybe I'll never do a DM, but I'm not, yeah, I've gotten one or two since then, and I haven't been like, yo, fuck this you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
And there's some people I'm like, oh, this was like lit. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing it with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get better about hearing something that I like and just like telling that person like
And-
directly.
Yeah. I also think the internet feels less serious to me now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I think that's a big thing that, like, 3 years ago, it felt way more serious to me to where I'm like, wait, you're using your internet platform to do this right now? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah. It
You
feels
know,
like
like-
so less consequential.
yeah, now it's like, okay, like if you're not selling yourself, you're kind of dumb. You know what I mean? If you have a business and you're not finding new ways to sell yourself, it's kind of dumb. And
Missing
when
an
you're
opportunity.
Yeah, and when you're not selling yourself, you feel dumb. You know what I mean? For having a product that you can't sell. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like,
I feel that way about TikTok a bunch because like sometimes I'll get in my head about because honestly it is just about throwing stuff on the wall with TikTok, and I'll get in my head of being like, is this good enough? Is this good enough? And like all of a sudden I'll see someone who posts like the most generic video got like
Yeah.
100,000 likes,
yeah.
and you're like, damn.
Yeah, I've been thinking that way about music too. Like like figuring out what people like. There's some shit that I'm just like, whoa, actually, like it'll be some shit that's like, yo, this is like a weird generic thing that was like big in 2007. That's like, you know what I mean? Like somehow still has like I don't not even like an old thing, but it's like, oh, there's people that are like doing this weird sound, like, like I don't know, like
No, it's because it's kind of funny because like when I remember when I first met you, you liked like modern baseball, American football.
I've listened to American football. I always thought that was funny that they're like, but modern baseball I love.
Yeah, okay, but I feel like now, like right now, like that sound is big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even bigger than it was then. Like it's like
Yeah.
made this like comeback. It's like interesting to like been around it long enough to be like to see how sounds make waves.
Yeah.
And like the waves like go up and down and like I don't know,
Yeah.
like you see it like with Pink Panthers and like jungle music
Yeah.
and like all of a sudden like that's huge again.
Yeah,
like,
but even shit that may have never been a wave,
Yeah.
it still like has like its active fan base, and that makes me think of like, you know what I mean? Like it, and you can relate to this in some aspect, but like being like I don't want to be a rapper that much anymore. Like I don't want to rap, but also I think about some stuff of like, yo, like yeah, like this guy at my work showed me this song, and I was like, wait, this is not that good of a hip hop song, but I'm like. But people love this, you know what I mean? So it's like, why am I thinking I'm so bad? You know what I mean? Like I liked my shit, you know what I mean? I know I can enjoy it. Like it may just be its own thing, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. You know, it just made me think like, oh, people love everything. Like, I'll hear shit that sounds mixed terribly, and
Yes.
it's huge. You know what I mean? Like big art. Like, yeah, I don't know.
If it hits, it hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll hear shit that's mixed terribly. I'll hear shit that is like doing things that I just would never do. That or like I told myself I should never do. You know what I mean? But I'm like,
Yep.
but it's way successful, and then it's like, why am I doing this? I think at the beginning I tried to get to this point, but the Lil Yachty album, there's this part on this song that it's just like, it's one of the guest features on the ride on the and he just like repeating something like 8 times, and it just sounded like he didn't know how to finish his verse, so he's just like, he's just saying the same thing over again, and then he cuts it off, and then it's like blank beat for like 3 more bars, and then the hook comes back in. And I'm like, yo, I've done this before to like fake finish a verse, and I listened to it and been like, yo, this sounds great, but like I know I just like didn't know what to do here, so I kind of filled it in with like some groove. But I can't get past that on my own songs.
Yeah.
Like I can't get past knowing I cheated my way, but it still sounds good.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, they put this out. And that could have easily been that. Not saying he cheated his way through that verse at all, but like,
Nah, at some point, like, it has to be like your willingness to accept like simplicity sometimes.
yeah,
is
but I
better.
love it.
No, I get.
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
love
saying.
it too.
I love the spot. It sounds perfect. Like whatever, but yeah, I don't know.
No, I like that moment too a bunch.
Yeah, I love it. So it's like, yeah, you shouldn't just, I don't know, overthink those parts, like. Did you guys win? Oh, you don't know you left early?
I had to bring. She was gonna Uber home.
Oh, okay.
I have to Uber, so I'm
Yeah.
going back.
Yeah, no, I feel you. You're going back?
The tickets look pretty good. We have a good amount of tickets in there.
Oh, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Dope.
I bought a ticket.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if it's because it might be like vocal screaming too. I
That could be the
thought they
case.
said that, but maybe they're just saying that, but then the ticket count actually counts.
I hope so.
I don't
Gotta
know.
support local.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I forgot
Yeah.
where we were. I noticed it a lot with. That's like a. Rick Rubin reminds me like this kind of stuff a bunch, where he's just like, do it, go for it.
Yeah.
Like repeat it 5 times if you need to. And like I get caught up in with the beat making a bunch, cause like I'll make a beat and it's just like a kick going, like it's just going like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's so simple. That's 2 sounds. Like
Can't
it's,
use
it's
it.
got to be more. I
Yeah.
gotta add like 3 toms and I gotta add like a bunch of, and then like I'm like, no, this is making it
Yeah.
worse. I don't know. It's like
No,
you
because
have-
then you'll listen to a fucking Drake song that has 2 sounds, literally.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's fucking perfect. And then
Yes. I was
You
thinking
listen-
about that the God's playing the other day. It's just like dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun.
But
dun.
Drake's also made a thing of like only being on like very minimal beats, like you know what I mean. Like Drake very rarely, if he does, it's like interlude shit, and he's definitely not like doing vocals on it. But yeah, and then there's some people that are just only complicated everything too. You know what I mean? There's all different types, and that's what makes it also like to where you'll talk yourself into being like, okay, I can do anything, like whatever, it doesn't matter, and then you'll realize like, oh wait, there is like too much now,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that constant battle between like, man, I'm a genius, and like, man, I'm an idiot. You know, and like that's the real battle.
Yeah. Damn, I feel like, how does this happen every time? I feel like we like started to like slow down at like an hour and a half, and then all of a sudden it's just
The juice.
2:16, 2:13.
The juice.
Yeah.
We hit some good topics.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Because I think we
I
we
mean,
did a lot of artist workshop or artist advice.
yeah, we did. I feel like, like the truth is we could talk for
Yeah, I know.
like
yeah.
hours and hours.
Yeah, true.
But this is a good pod.
Yeah.
We have nothing. I review this pod 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
9.5.
Damn.
I don't know. Sorry.
Damn. Why the 0.5? Why the 0.5 off?
Because I'm not going to be telling the truth when I have to say this Follow us at movieclub.com. Thanks for listening. And that's what takes off the .5.
That's a good segue into the closer right there.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's the first MOVIECLUB.com that I'll let you get away with. First one ever.
That's a win.
Yeah.
That's a W.
Hell yeah. So do you have anything in mind for your next pick? We need to get better about that. Mainly me.
Do we ever watch Boyhood?
No.
I think that might be my pick. It's on Showtime now.
That's the one you've been wanting to do for a while. Probably like when like fucking Tyler was on.
Yeah, like a long time ago. It's Richard Linklater.
Yeah, you've been talking about that movie probably since one of the first couple episodes too.
Yeah, and it like hits our when the kid is that age, we're that age.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to watch Fablemans too because I was kind of hoping you would pick that, but I'm gonna try to watch that on my own anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to watch. I'm only picking it because it's on Showtime too, so I know
Okay.
people couldn't have to. And Punch Drunk Love right now is on Roku TV.
It was.
Yeah.
I bought it on Vudu, so it's on Vudu now forever.
There you go.
It's one of the. It was again. It happened with me with Knives Out the other night. I was showing Peyton Knives Out, and it was it's $4 to rent it, but it's $8 to buy it. And I'm like, Knives Out is so good. I'm buying it. Like
That's a good buy.
Yeah, I can't not buy Knives Out, and
You got a good Voodoo collection.
yeah, it's all right. Half of it looks kind of weird because some of them are just like free ones. Like there's like the Big Miracle in there. I've never seen that.
I was
Or, like,
wondering about
the
that.
Lego Movie. Never seen that.
I was wondering about that one too.
A bunch of those were like free ones I got from like codes.
That's a good movie, the Lego Movie.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah. I need to watch the Lego Batman one again with Will Arnett.
That's a great movie.
All right.
Anyways.
Yeah. Good pod, Stevie. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn.
What do you mean by that?
Alrighty. See you guys. Bye, YouTube. Bye, listeners. Everybody have a good week. We will be back with Boyhood next week.
Some boys with Boyhood.
Yeah. Pause.
What do you mean by that?
Give me a fucking break, buddy. Oh, shit.